Hello, everybody. Let's make sure that we are live. Let's take a good old hot look at here. All right. Sweet. We are live. So, hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm your host, Spencer Presley, joining you for a very live, leaky day of Persona news. Shout out to Kane, Jagingis, and Dr. Luma for being in the live chat. Welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network link. Oh, almost forgot, because I gotta have this recorded. Perfect. Alright, some mild video exclusive vamping. How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network link 308. I am your host, leaking out all of my corners, Spencer Presley. Joining me in the live chat is Kane, Jagingis, Dr. Luma, Cross Renren, Caitlin Moon, Dell, Red Hood, everybody. Cannot wait to react to two brand new leaked trailers from Atlus. Today we are going to be reacting to Persona 3 Reloaded, the Persona 3 Remake, as well as Persona 5 Tactica. So we're going to be looking at those videos, reacting, and then we're going to be talking to everybody over in the Shin Megami Tensei Network Discord. So if you would like to join the Discord later, link is in the live chat below. There will be a town hall where you can mute yourself and we can talk all about it if we have thoughts. But, yeah. Oh, yes, Kane, thank you. Also, don't forget to hit the like button because I always forget to promote the channel because I'm bad at my job. Because this doesn't pay me that much. But either way, we're not doing this for the money. We're doing this for the leaks. We're doing this for the trailers. We're doing this to have a good time. And I am very excited to jump into this. I've not been following the news. I've literally just got off of a 12-hour shift at my work. I'm in the middle, quick little life update. I'm in the middle of looking for a new place to live. Moving is a nightmare hellscape. This will be a great distraction. I just can't wait to watch these. Atlus leaked these, quote-unquote leaked these on their Instagram. I like to think that because Sega has been stonewalling them on their union negotiations, that just someone said fuck that and just decided to leak these trailers as a way of, like, fighting back, which I think is genuinely hilarious. Even though this sucks for Xbox, but honestly, neither of these would have been make-or-break moments for them, in my opinion. But without further ado, oh yes, actually, one last thing of housekeeping, really quick before we get into the trailers. Remember, we will be at Anime Expo. We have a panel on Monday all about the Shin Megami Tensei fan anniversary panel stuff. All more details and stuff as the schedule kind of gets there. But locked in, we're going to LA. We've got our passes. It's too late to back out now. So if you're going to LA, can't wait to see you all there. We're going to have a bunch of meetups as much as humanly possible around the LA Convention Center. Going to be there for all 4 days of the convention. But mostly just excited to get to cover this as much as humanly possible, along with the concert, along with all the panels and stuff like that. So very, very excited. And again, much like everything else we ever do, if you're not able to go to LA because we live in this world that we live in, do not worry. I will be recording, and I will be streaming, reacting, recording, uploading, doing everything I can to make you all feel as included as humanly possible. Will this include me including mini microphones and going to the concert and getting kicked out? Only one way to find out. Hopefully not. But yes, 4 minutes of vamping aside, let's start with our first trailer. Let's go with Persona 5 Tactica, because I feel like we're probably going to have a lot more to say about Remake. Especially me, avid Remake, not excited person out there myself, if that's not a word, but I'm excited. I, again, know nothing. I've known about the existence of Persona 3 Reload for about, I think, 8 months now at this point, maybe 7 or 8. Funny to see it actually real, and just excited to react. But yeah, so let us jump into this. By the way, in classic tradition, I figured since Atlus posted Sega's video, and that was stolen off Instagram, I'm going to steal Faz's re-upload on YouTube. So shout out to Faz for letting me steal their video. Thank you, Faz. So I'm going to start getting the trailer pulled up here for Persona 5 Tactica. Alright, let's get this pulled up. Just want to get the live chat so that way make sure that I can see everybody as well. Awesome. Alright, trailer should be viewable for you all. Just want to make sure. Awesome, awesome. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Reacting time. Just kidding. My thing is being so... Oh, it's because it thinks I'm opening up a folder, which I'm not. There we go. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Now it's reacting time. Atlus presents P Studio. Doesn't look to be third-party developer.
What is this place? It looks like we're in a palace.
What the hell is going on?
Super cheap.
Who are these people?
No idea. But if they're attacking us, our only choice is fighting back. Hey, look over there!
This, like, isn't even like Persona Q chibi. This literally looks like... Oh, it is Tacticsy Tactics.
And you just happened to stumble into this world? The Rebel Corps will always help the Phantom Thieves, just as the Phantom Thieves have helped the
I was
Rebel
ready to be cynical.
Never forget that we're a united force who can rely on each other.
Who is making this?
You should be grateful to have been made my subjects. But you're just mannerless little brats.
Unfortunately,
Interesting, we're going back in time.
No easy feat.
Somewhere deep inside, I know you realize things can't go on like this. So, will you take a stand beside us?
Yeah, let's show them what we got.
P5T. This November. Coming to Game Pass. Thanks, Xbox. Huh.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Day one with Game Pass.
Does your internet bill make you anxious? Not me.
Oh,
I'm
get
on
out of here,
T-Mobile home in-
T-Mobile. We're not about that life. Wow. I'm going to put it on loop really quick, but I'm going to mute it. I have many thoughts. Wow. Wowzers, do I have many thoughts. Persona 5 Tactica. Definitely not Devil Survivor 3, Caitlin, but boy, I would love it if that was true. Let's just put this out there. Things that at least I already know for sure. This is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC, all at launch November. Wow, my bag just fell over and scared the absolute piss out of me. But I am just weirdly like, I love how the gameplay looks. The overall look, it feels a little too cheap for me, which I really wish wasn't like the case. At least in a weird sense of like, I don't know, like I feel like it looks like a game that's going to be a really hard sell to a lot of people, but I think is gameplay-wise going to be extremely, extremely interesting. Major questions I still have now at this point. Will this be a full retail release? My gut tells me no. I feel like there's no way this gets a retail release. I would love to be wrong, but I'm not sure. Like, if this screams $60, and we know Atlus, whether it be retail or not, is still going to charge a bunch for this, but really, really interesting of like what we're kind of looking at here. I'm going to try and put it back up for loop. Oh, no. Don't play Persona 3. We're not looking at that yet. All right, Mr. Trailer. Our little browser is trying to sneak ahead, but that's okay. Really interesting. I know what I gotta put a poll. Are we hyped about Persona? Are we excited about Persona 5 Tactica? Like, is it a day one buy? Actually, I should probably do that more, to be fair. So we'll do that as the first question. Q&A. Actually, no, I guess it's more of a poll. So, buy P5T, buying day one. Other questions I'm curious about. How do people feel about the Tactics gameplay? Obviously, this isn't Fire Emblem, so it's not really a series that's kind of known for that. But I feel like the gameplay could be solid. This is just one that I really feel like I gotta know who's making this. And my gut tells me this is not an internal Atlus dev. I'd be really shocked if this is actually P Studio. It almost gives me like Sting vibes. Not the musician, which would be hilarious. But instead, just like Sting, the developer behind like Utawara Ramono, Hyperdimension Noir, or I guess Hyperdevotion Noir, things like that. So those ones kind of, like, I think once I know the developer, I'll have a lot more faith in kind of the scope of this. Whoever is excited still about that Akechi game will continue to just make me laugh. That is continuously hilarious. Now, the more we kind of get to this, because I love how absolutely nobody was guessing about nobody was guessing about this. Not that anyone should have, because why would we? Why would we have guessed that this was a thing at all? Man, YouTube ads are awful. No wonder people don't really do this. But no, yes, I'm fully in the camp that I do not believe the Akechi game was real. If it is, hey, sure, whatever, go for it. But yeah, what a strange one. All right, perfect. So this is now gonna loop, so it'll be much easier to just have on up here. But yeah, Persona 5 Tactics. What a strange beast you are. I feel like it looks good. Like, I feel like the 2D art looks good. This is like one of those weird ones where, like, the 2D art, I feel like looks way better than the 3D. In the 3D, like, the environments look very simple. Like, this almost, like, I wouldn't be shocked if it was like a Unity game. Like, this really just almost seems like a mobile game to me. But I know this will probably be like a full retail game. I think things that could help this game out a lot. Worldwide release and the fact that it's a short turnaround time is very smart. But things that are really going to help it out... Oh, no, by the way, I like how it looks. I just think it's not like a Persona Q where you look at it and then go, oh, it's an interesting take for it. Like, this will turn some people off. This is, like, going to be the Wind Waker of Persona games, for sure. At least in terms of how the initial reaction is. Like, there are people who are going to love Persona 5 who are going to look at this and go, not my thing. And they're more than allowed to. Tactica. P5 Tactica. Kind of a bad name. I feel like a bad name. Like, honestly, why not just call it Persona 5 Tactics? Or maybe, like, come up with more of a canon name? Weird thing here. The characters' personas being changed around art style wise, I appreciate. My only kind of thing I'm not a fan of is, you'll see this in a little bit here, when they're summoning Valkyrie, it literally is just the same fucking Persona 5 model for Valkyrie, which in a game with such a different looking art style, when you're just plucking a PS2 era model for the summoning, it's like, why? Like, I don't even know if it'll end up being a thing where, like, the personas are even shown moving in battle unless it's a special attack. So, it's very weird. Mirth, thank you for joining. Yes, unlike Persona Q2, at least this will be dubbed. I think if this game wants to succeed, Game Pass, by the way, again, is a great one, just for PC and Xbox alone. I think this is a great one for people out there, since this is brand new. Persona 3, 4, and 5, none of those were new, outside of to the, like, Like, this is the first, hey, this is a brand new Atlus game available on Game Pass at launch. That will help a lot, especially being able to play it on xCloud. If this game has a rockin' soundtrack, which it would be very remiss not to, that'll be a good sign of, like, things that'll help it. But other ones, like little weird things, is kind of like, okay, well, I think 40 would be a sweet spot for this. But again, this seems to be Atlus's only holiday title. At least bigger holiday title. Make a physical release at the very least. No matter, like, I hope this is a physical. Because, like, right now, the only physical release Atlus has done worldwide is Etrian Odyssey in Japan. I hope this is at least a pretty decent length. I would like at least maybe 5 to 7 different kind of settings, like a French Revolution, Sengoku era Japan, traveling more. I don't really know how much out of Japan we're going to get in terms of the feel of everything, but it is interesting how Tactica uses that original concept that Koei Tecmo was going to use for Strikers. By the way, if this is actually made by Koei Tecmo, that would be hilarious, but I feel like Koei Tecmo is thrifty enough to know that they should include their logo if they're going to be used like that. Oh, Deep Weeb, don't say that to me. It'll be $60 and have DLC. We know it's going to have DLC, but I'm just... my heart can't take it, Deep Weeb. Don't do it to me. But yeah, Persona 5 Tactica. Obviously, this is a much shorter teaser trailer. We're going to know more after the Xbox showcase. I just feel like there's very little to kind of say until we know more about the game. Outside of this, feels like this is easily going to have to be the most divisive, non-dancing Persona spin-off title yet. I at least feel so. I actually haven't looked at how the poll's doing. 61% day one. Okay. Also, I'm gonna go scroll into the chat and check it out a little bit because I want to make sure we're going on here. All right, perfect. I've not missed any outlandish developments. The official cover art, by the way, for it looks absolutely fantastic. I honestly wish I could have zoomed it in more, but the art's just not really there for it. By the way, thank you again, everybody who is chatting live. I really appreciate it. Once we finish talking about Persona 3 Remakes trailer, we're going to jump into the Discord and talk about it. So if you have any thoughts, don't forget, join the SMTN Discord. Just chill in the town hall, and we'll talk there for a little bit. But let's kind of check what everybody is saying right now. I wanted Persona 5 Tactical Espionage. That actually would have been a good one for sure, especially with the whole Thieves thing. Red Hood, the Tactics gameplay is pretty neat, but I will wait and see with the reviews. We have not looked at the Persona 3 Remake trailer yet. Let's see here. We have not talked about Like a Dragon Gaiden. I haven't seen the trailer for that one yet. I probably am not going to react to that one, but I am very interested. The only ones I couldn't wait for is I had to see the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer, and there was one more as well. I've seen Mortal Kombat mostly just because that was barely just finishing touring an apartment right as that was starting. But yeah, for the most part, not a lot of hate, but again, we're still very early. I think once the official reveal kind of hits, it'll be a little bit different. But let's just jump into Persona 5. Let's jump into Persona 3 Reload. Now this one, I'm going to change the poll a little bit with it. Does P3 Remake... trying to think of how to English this. Because I know the obvious one with it being like yes for it, but you know what, here. We'll save the question, because again, I haven't seen any gameplay. Any gameplay at all. I'm going to put this out there before I've even said anything, because Kane, you bring up a great point. Persona 3 Remake will 100% be $70. Lock that in the bank right now. lock it in the bank, throw away the key, and send it to jail. Because that's happening. For sure, for sure. But let's get that trailer ready for Persona 3 Reload. OBS continues to be the best friend of my existence. Not the bane, just the best friend. Because if we make fun of it too much, it will definitely just die and make me feel very stupid. All right, let us scroll on down. Forgot we can't do that, so if we do this, I think it'll let us. That'll be the next trailer. No, Faz, what are you doing to me? How dare your algorithm be broken? All right, perfect. Skip the trailer, loop the trailer, and hopefully not break our minds in the process. So let's go loop, full screen, make it bigger for everybody. I assume this one we're going to talk way more about. Okay. Let's get audio. Perfect. All right, Persona 3 Reload. Reacting time. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I forgot. I still have the audio muted. Thank you, Unreal Engine trailer. Always being my friend. I forgot I triple muted it out of fear. All right. 3, for real this time. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. I have it next to me on my big screen TV. So, because I'm I'm not watching this trailer on a baby screen. 60 FPS, looking good. Unreal, by the way. An interesting surprise to me. From the people who brought you SMT5. Wow, it has big SMT5 vibes. In terms of how the models look. They are really showing a lot. Wow, okay, shops. Gameplay. A lot more. Wow. R.I.P. Pimsy. I can already tell. I feel like there is no Pimsy. Could you imagine if we just called Lotus Juice right now and you're like, hey, Mr. Juice, what do you know? Tell us about these songs you've been singing.
Play it day one with Game Pass.
Dude, we're going to be doing much more than playing. Wow. I have a lot to say about that trailer. There's a lot to unpack in that trailer, too. Dang. Oh, my God. Oh, Exceed, I don't like how right you are. That Femsy is probably actually, not even kidding, DLC. That's so disgusting it hurts. Hey, by the way, never say never about who the voice cast is. Clearly, Konami has shown us that you can have a full from-the-ground-up remake and still reuse every bit of voice acting like an absolute chump. But, wow. Yeah, so, really looking good. Actually, almost no complaints about really what anything's looking like. The fact that it is using Unreal 4, I just realized, actually probably helps a lot in the sense of what this is probably going to be on, what this is going to look like, the demons they've already transitioned and developed in Unreal 4. Really interesting. Do they have to recast? That's a great question. That'll be our first one. Thank you, Mirth. Let's go make that our first poll. Should P3R recast the VAs for voice actors? So we can't just recast one. We gotta recast everybody. It would look way too weird if they just recast Junpei. They'd have to recast everybody. But that gameplay looks surprisingly clean. Interesting to note, the pre-rendered cameras. There's no behind the scenes. They are, if I had to guess, like we were seeing with this, still more. No, YouTube, it is not a good time for ads. It's like, now seems like a good time to throw some ads in there. No, we're still talking. This is the big one. I'm wondering, will this be on Switch? My gut tells me that this could be on Switch. Especially if this is as faithful of a remake as we think. This would just be a 30 FPS version. Like, this game looks great, but, like, this 1,000% can run on Switch. Like, SMT5 is doing more than this game is doing. I wish we would have saw voice acting. But, like, I feel like it's the only places it's really going to give us camera control, like full 3D camera control, are, like, dungeons and the school. I get very big one-to-one camera vibes. Let's see what the chat's saying. No, I need my Yuri Lowenthal's Ryoji. Should it or will it? For the question, I would say, do you think it should? Let's see. Red Hood says, I can see some of them being recast, but I don't know how hard of a pill that'll be. I will cry if Yuri doesn't get back. I mean, hey, he's at least got that Spider-Man money. I'm happy about Yuri Lowenthal getting that bag. By the way, everybody, October 20th, Spider-Man, all the leaks were wrong. Well, at least not the leaks, all the speculation. But man, that Spider-Man special edition, whoo, baby, looking good. Some parts look kind of fan-made. I'm gonna be real, Burnt Toast. If anything, that's just a compliment to how good some fan games can look. None of this looks cheap to me. Like the conversation having kind of been, oh, this looks kind of cheap, or this looks like kind of what. The cheapest thing about this remake, full stop, 100%, this is the only thing you can say is cheap, is that they're just one-for-one remaking what looks to be the original Persona 3. God, we hope they make more changes. But this is going to be a one-for-one design remake with some quality of life changes, but for the most part, the laziest part is just the fact that it was made in Unreal Engine 4. So they could copy and paste a lot of those demons that were already there from SMT5. These are all new character models. They are not the ones from Persona 3 Dancing. That would have been fucking funny if they were, though. There's new 2D art. There will be new music. It is on HD modern generation platforms. This, like, really would have to go out of its way. I feel like, whereas, like, Tactica, I had, like, a laundry list of things they'd have to do to make people excited. I feel like Persona 3 Remake is such a slam dunk. These are the only things that they have to do, and everyone will still be happy. They could not even include the Fez content. Like, I don't even mean the answer. I literally just mean, like, this could just be vanilla Persona 3. People would still be fine with that. The big ones this has to do, update the mechanics of playing the game, which clearly, as we can see through the gameplay, they are doing that. Update the mechanics to more match Persona 5. This is doing this. This looks super Persona 5-y. No one who is into Persona 5 is not going to be interested or wanting to try this. Atlus's whole goal is to get all of the Super Smash Brothers players who fucking know about Joker and his gun from Smash, are wanting them to jump in to play this. I think it is huge that this is also Game Pass, by the way. Worldwide release, early 2024. I'd say most likely this will probably be like a March, April release, but very interesting how fast this is coming out. Still need to know who's making this. Like, unless this is just a really small team in Atlus, I feel like this has got to be outsourced by somebody, even if it's like a Sega team. But it looks great. It looks really good. The environments look solid. The new additions to things. Here are some big ones, though. Big, tiny things. Like, here is my top 3 things Persona 3 needs to do that no one's going to ask for. Number 1, everything's voice acted. Nothing is text only. I want every bit. The only thing that you're allowed to not voice act are demons talking. I want every cutscene, every side quest, every random one-off side character to be voice acted. Full stop. No ifs, ands, or buts. Nothing else. Also, yes, Deep Weeb, RIP Project Refantasy. Number 2. Do the impossible, Atlus. Just do the impossible. Include Femc, but don't include any DLC to make her playable. Please. If she is in any... Even if she's a pre-order bonus, instant fuck you. Instant fuck you. That, honestly, I would say it should be bad enough that we won't buy it, but we all know it won't. But don't even play. If she's there, cool. If she's not, don't worry. You can sell the Elizabeth boss fight. You can sell the Margaret boss fight. I won't even care. Don't nickel and dime Femc. Make this a cool 6 months down the line TGS announcement that Femc's in here. But we just don't know. And number 3, big thing I want to see. When I beat Persona 3 Reload, tease Persona 1 or 2 being re-released and a trailer for 6. I'm not saying this is when you announce 6, but I think, considering how close this release is, how much cooler would it be outside of a showcase that we find out another Persona re-release is happening and Persona 6 is happening when you beat this game? Will it leak? Of course it'll leak. But it's still so cool, the idea to think of people being like, oh man, I just beat Persona 3 Reload. I can't wait to see what the after credit scene is. And it's a scene from Persona 6, like, showing the protagonist. Be very, very cool. And then you can obviously just be like, are you excited for Persona 6? Well, great news. Persona Revelations Collection comes out fall 2024. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Very excited for this, though. Seriously. I'll say this. My only concerns or quibbles. Don't change the story. At all. Like, just keep it as it is. I couldn't imagine that they ever would. But keep it as it is. I'm in camp recast it. I think it's been long enough that we need a completely fresh recast. But make it nobody's. I don't want anybody from, like, other games being in a major character voice. Don't make any weird changes, like don't try to Final Fantasy VII remake this. I don't think Atlus ever would, but I think the more faithful and just well this plays, the better off everyone will be in it, for what it has been said. What about reworking Strega into better villains? That's definitely true. They could definitely flesh out the story, but I don't see them doing that. I think there's ways they can incorporate like things from other works, but I don't think there would be anything additionally new to this. I'd love to be wrong. That'd be like if I like see them like adding like full on like new like villain conversations and cutscenes. That would be fantastic. But I feel like it's already enough that this is coming as fast as it is. All right, everybody. If you are interested in talking about Persona 5 Tactica or Persona 3 Reload, come on, join the Shin Megami Tensei Network Discord. Link is, I'll throw the link in the YouTube chat as well, for anyone who's curious. But feel free to join. Join the town hall. Go on mute. I will call your name, and one at a time we can talk about what we think of these, what we think about the leaks, whatever's going on, all the fun stuff, and I'll pen the message so everybody can see it as well. Alright, that is there. We're going to end the poll. Seems pretty unanimous at this point. Alright. Discord time. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh no. Alright. Discord's wanting to be mean to me. We've got to make the video and the audio. There we go. Go into this. Let's see if this works. Discord does not like me. Alright, let's see what I am doing wrong. Because God forbid we have a stream go smoothly around here. Input, output. Wrong speaker. Wrong speaker. That is so weird. It's all going into the wrong speaker for some reason. That is very weird. Let's see. Let's try this then. Pull this up here. Yeah, this is being really weird. Here we go. Sound mixing. Let's make sure that it's going into the headphones like we want. It is not going into the headphones. No duh! They got unplugged because I'm a fucking ingrate. God damn it. I was like, what is happening right now? It's only showing my speaker. Alrighty. Well, that absolute hilarious embarrassment aside, let's go double check one more time. Headphones! Hooray! Good lord. Alright, I'm going to go from the top to the bottom in no particular order. So, Admin Jagingus, if you'd like to unmute yourself, give a little testy test.
Yo.
How's it jagging?
It's jagging, you know? You know how it is.
You sound like you're like in my closet with like a blanket over you, hoping I don't come and find you.
No.
Great answer. But yeah, man, what do you think of the leaks? What are your thoughts? What are you excited about? How much do you want to meet and hold weird mongoloid chibi Morgana?
I don't know what you're talking about. I was here to talk about Shadows of the Damned Remastered.
I want you to know the only way I'm going to allow you to play that is if you play it on the Switch.
No. Anyway. Persona.
Oh, no, honestly, I would have allowed Shadows of the Damned Remaster. Also, that was not at Jeff's show, right? Did like Suda just announce that randomly?
That was like at the beginning of the Devolver Direct.
Oh, okay, that definitely does make a little bit more sense.
And there's going to be a Grasshopper Direct.
Grasshopper Direct, as it should be. Grasshopper D. Oh my god. By the way, unironically, everybody, full stop, please play Shadows of the Damned. Incredibly overrated, incredibly underplayed game that did not get enough love.
Get your big boners ready.
Oh man, do you think like they'll just add more big dick jokes to that game?
In the best timeline, maybe.
You can only hope. But yeah, man, what's the Jagingus's thoughts about this?
The Jagingus score thoughts.
Yeah, lay me your P5T thoughts first. I'd be curious what you think as a non-tactics man.
That is true. I haven't really dabbled too much with tactics, but I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm probably gonna get it immediately because I'm a sucker.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would be like from what we saw in the trailer? What's your thoughts on? Oh, this should cost this much. Because I don't think I'm off by saying this does not look like a $60 game to me.
No, I don't. It doesn't scream $60 to me, but I can very well see it being $60.
You know what it screams to me? It screams Apple Arcade. It screams in like 14 months that'll be on my phone for Apple Arcade.
Oh, man.
I mean, hey, Apple Arcade's got some bangers on there.
I wouldn't know. I don't touch that.
That's okay. Android Arcade coming any day now.
One day. Not my problem.
All right. What about the speaking of reloads? What about P3R?
That I'm gonna be buying that for sure.
But where will you be playing? Do you think you'll go console or PC on this one, especially with Game Pass?
Well, it's gonna have a physical, so I'm getting it on PS5.
You see, we say it'll have a physical. Will it? We've had a bad track record this year.
Don't say that. I'm still miffed about Alan Wake. Don't do that. Stop it.
Someone will save Alan Wake 2. I feel like someone's got to save that from Epic.
But will they?
They will. Someone will do it. THQ will do it, or somebody. As long as it's not like a rare, like limited thing, I'll be fine with it. But I do want to say though, you know what? It's got to be like the most big dick energy thing today. Speaking of physical releases, is Square Enix ending a trailer with a year and just saying it will be on 2 discs.
Like, bro, that game's about to be like 300 gigabytes.
Oh yeah. It'll just tell you, like, for the download size, it'll just say just have an empty PS5. Have an empty PS5 and you might be able to install this.
Have an extra SSD only for our game.
Can you imagine, like, the collector's edition of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just comes with
It comes with a Buster Sword SSD.
Oh no, so that you have to install like into the system.
It comes preloaded with the game.
Oh my god. But yeah, any major thoughts or takeaway from the remake? Were you hyped before? Were you reading into the leaks? Because like I said, I've been nightmarishly busy and stupid. I've literally not been paying any attentions outside of like, oh, domain name was touched or whatever. But like, I've not given really any thoughts with this. So like, when you kind of saw it, like, what did you think?
I mean, I've been hearing about the leaks this whole time, and I've been like basically like just kind of waiting to see when it's real before I really think too much into it. But now it's like, oh, this is real shit.
Do you like my? Did you like my headcanon idea of why the trailer got leaked today?
I don't remember what that was.
So today, earlier this morning, before the leaks happened, like literally like almost 2 or 3 hours before the leaks, the Atlus West and Sega West Union posted saying, "We are disappointed to see that Sega has been trying to stop their efforts for unionization leading up to the voting." And I just thought, there's no way that's a complete coincidence, right? Like, if the Xbox showcase was today, that would be one thing. We are many days away. Many days away. Like, so
days away.
For me, I'm like, oh, this has got to just be someone who was like, hey, fuck you, Atlus. It'd be fuck you, Sega Japan. We're gonna unionize. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna leak your fucking trailers from this weekend.
Just one really mad employee.
Yeah, I completely could see someone who was pissed at them being like curtailed for trying to unionize, getting like just like fuck it, I'll give it my job to post these trailers on Instagram.
I mean, hey, kudos to them.
Ooh, here's a good next question. I'll ask you this, and then we can, if you have any other final words, please go for it, and then we'll work our way down. Will Atlus acknowledge the leak before the Xbox showcase?
No.
100% full stop?
When have they ever acknowledged the leak?
They acknowledged the Strikers leak. Remember? When Strikers leaked, because it leaked so far in advance, because it was supposed to be at the Game Awards, that they just released it earlier on their end. Strikers was the last big trailer leak.
I didn't really see that as acknowledging, considering they didn't really acknowledge the fact that it leaked. They just put the trailer out and was like, oh, here's the game, guys. This is definitely how we meant to do it all along.
It is tougher to see if they'll acknowledge it, though, because these are Xbox trailers, for sure.
They're not putting this out any earlier. They're keeping it.
No, but like, do you think there's a chance that because this is leaked at least a couple of days ahead of time? I think it'd be really smart of Xbox, make a different trailer. Like, even if it's just the same trailer, but you show different gameplay clips, I think that would be really smart.
But they won't.
I like to let me have fun. Let me have this, man.
I'm here to crush dreams.
That's true. You've already gotten your dreams. You've gotten Alan Wake 2 and Boners of the Damned.
But my dreams of having Alan Wake 1 and 2 on PS5 physically on my shelf are crushed.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Don't be sad. But Jagingas, where can other people find you, or do you have any other final words besides everyone play Alan Wake?
I'm like blanking, but get Boners of the Damned.
Yeah. Anywhere you can, folks. Well, Jack, thank you for coming. Thanks for always coming. You're always there, always coming. Much like the great man Hideo Kojima once said, Jag will keep coming.
As he will.
He will. All right, thank you, man. All right, Cross Rin. Time to cross fast because you can't escape from crossing fate. Get on over here.
Right.
So I know you're feeling emotional. We didn't get BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle 2 leaked like we were hoping.
Sadly.
But what do you think of our Leaky Boy trailers?
I heard the rumors. I saw them all on Twitter and was like, I will believe them when I see it at Xbox or when I saw it at the Summer Games Fest. And then I watch the Summer Game Fest and go, oh, dang, it wasn't there. I go use the bathroom. I check Twitter and I go, oh, trailers. Where'd this come from? This was planned by someone at Atlus.
I will say, I'd love to ask Phil Spencer why back-to-back years for Persona. Obviously, Persona 5 did really well for them on Xbox in Japan. I think 3 and 4 did okay. But I'm almost kind of surprised. Like, do you think this was them trying to, like, do the FU thing with Sony? Of, like, well,
No,
fuck...
okay.
Of, like, FU...
Did you see the end of the Summer Games Fest?
No,
Like,
I literally have not even had a chance to watch it. I
Okay.
got home, immediately
say-
started the stream, and then I'm going to watch it after this.
Okay, so I will say what Phil did at the end was that he said something like, here's something from my iconic JRPG franchise, blah, 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 and then the last thing he said was, yes, the rumors are true, but it was FF7 Rebirth, but like, it was just funny because he said the rumors were true, so I thought, oh, he must be talking about the Persona thing, but he was talking about FF7, so it was just funny.
And when you said Jeff, when you said Phil, you meant Jeff, right?
Oh yeah, Jeff Keighley. Why did I say? Because we were talking about Xbox.
Talking to Spencer,
yeah,
thinking
Keighley.
about Phil Spencer. I understand. I get how it works.
Jeff Keighley at the end of Summer's Game Fest was saying that. I don't know. I thought Phil, but yeah. I'm saying it was planned by someone that specifically they wanted to release this after Summer Games Fest and not during, because they could have done it during, but they said let's wait literally maybe 10 minutes after it ends. Let's leak this.
Yeah, no, that definitely does kind of like, I could see it, but it is that thing of like, man, I feel like Atlus has had such bad luck with leaking stuff.
Really bad.
But like, it's just almost has got to just feel like it's almost intentional at this point. Although, by the way, real quick aside, I don't know how I feel about this yet. I am so conflicted on Sonic Superstars. Like, I don't know if I should be excited for this or extremely cynical.
Well, I'm not a Sonic person, but I have a friend who is, but I just know it looked cool. It looked new. Looks good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my 2 cents on it.
Oh, DHI Hollow just popped in. Did you miss anything? DHI Hollow, we reacted to both trailers, and right now we are just talking in the SMTN Discord. So I will still be checking the live YouTube chat for any like questions and stuff. But no, that's just about it for it. But yeah, but Rinrin though. Any actually, you know what I'd be more curious about? What are your thoughts? What's the Renren rating for P5T? I feel like that's definitely more up your alley.
I said, because people were like, "Oh my God, it's Fire Emblem meets Persona." No, I swear, this is the impression I got. The Mario, it looks like the Mario and Rabbids like strategy game. It looks like that. It gives me that feel just by the snippet of gameplay we got. That's like you go to the specific area and you fire your strike.
I
at
will
the
be
enemy.
shocked if P5T is even half as good as Mario plus Rabbids. And I don't mean that in like a shit-talking way. I think people legitimately don't realize like how good of a tactics game those are. Like, those are legitimately great games.
Yeah.
But
it's probably going to be a day one purchase for me.
That is an interesting comparison. Like, I wonder... Because I feel like there will be zero 3D exploration. My gut tells me it'll be all menus out of battle.
Probably.
Any hopes on who you want to be making it? Like I said, optimistic for me has got to be like Sting. Maybe people will like shit their pants and like burn the game at the stake if they find out it's the guys who did Monarch or something. So, very curious.
No one in particular that I would be like, yeah, you should make this. As long as it doesn't crash or bug out, it's fine in my book.
I will say this, that looks like a game that, like, outside of me wanting trophies on PlayStation, I'm like, this looks like this is designed to be played on a Switch.
Yeah. There's just some games that are just like, yeah, this is you're taking this portably, you're not sitting down and playing this for long hours.
How are we feeling about the art style, Q versus T?
It's like the
QD debate.
Q2 models, but you made them taller and skinnier.
It looks like someone put the P5 skeletons in the PQ models. Like, that's my thing, is like, I don't like how long the limbs look.
They do look long.
Oh, Saberson, thank you so much for the $1.99. That is greatly appreciated. Super chat. Honestly, I kind of forgot what super chats look like, so I was like, what's this blue text on here? But yeah, so last thing I want to ask you, P3 Remake, Cross-Run, what do you want to see? What do you want to see next in terms of media coverage for this remake?
Man, there was so much that I said to my friends earlier about this, but my main questions for it is how much and what is going to be changed. There's some stuff that P3 out of any games is the game that's like, we probably need to change this because most of these like elements of the game are not good, like being forced to date female party members. Like that's the main one, but there's some stuff that's like, what are they going to change story-wise? What are they going to change gameplay-wise? Are they going to keep the tire mechanic? Are they going to, again, keep the you have to date female party members? Are they going to keep reverse social links? Like, what are they adapting from the newer games to put into Persona 3? And how are they going to change it for maybe a modern eye? You know, it's just a bunch of questions that we don't have answers right now.
No, for sure. Well, Run, before I let you go, anywhere you want to plug, anything you want to let people know where they can follow you, or any other final words?
Let's hope that the game doesn't divide the community. That's my sense.
Let's stay positive.
Let's think positive, yep.
All right, thank you for waiting, man. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, before I go into the next one, I do want to say, if you are waiting for the town hall and, like, you gotta go soon, just shoot a message in the general chat and just say, hey, I'm here, but I gotta leave in, like, 5 minutes, just in case. But, like, only if you actually gotta go. As you can tell, I'm not planning on, like, staying super late tonight, talking one-on-one with everybody. But I do want to get to as many people as possible. So if you do have to leave, try and let me know. But, Exeat, you're next. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing good. So I actually have a list of things I kind of want to talk about. I had one, but I forgot it. I didn't write it down. The one thing is that the other person brought up is like, well, like what parts of like Fez original and portable? Like, will you be able to hold any weapons? Like, because in Fez you could use any weapon, if I'm not mistaken, right? But not in portable.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, for sure.
Another thing is basically, the thing is, do you think they'll like have the outfits? Because if you had different pieces of armor, you'd have like the I can't remember any of that.
It's gotta. I would love for costumes to come back, but it's like it's the easiest thing for them to. Like you would think in a perfect world they would just have costumes in the armor, and then you could have the really fun, crazy ones you buy. But we've been burned so long. Like we haven't had costumes in over 10 years with Golden, so I feel like costumes have no chance of staying.
Yeah. Wishful thinking would be you could basically get them by playing the game, and then it'd be like 5 where you have an outfit that's not linked to your armor, but yeah, that's not going to happen at all.
Mm-hmm. Any surprising thoughts or takeaways from P5T on your end?
I'll say I was basically going for a walk, then I came back, and then I had all this news, so...
Yeah, imagine me coming off of like 10 plus hours of working. The first thing I ironically heard about this was Gnarly texted me while I was at work, because I have my computer in front of me for work, but I pretty much can only look at like messages. Like I wasn't going to pull up anything while I was being busy, but he was like, hey, did you see the Persona trailers leaked? And I was like, I wasn't that surprised by it, but I was like, maybe it meant like a portion of it leaked or something happened. And I was like, what can you tell me? He's like, oh, I'm busy. I'm traveling right now. I can't really tell you. And then I was like, well, I'll just try and sneak off to the bathroom as quick as I can and like try and like see what it is without like watching it. Because I was like, well, whatever happens, I know I'm going to be late, but at least thought I could do this live and it would make it a little bit better. But getting one leaked trailer is absolutely hilarious and weird. But yeah, getting both today is really weird and really funny, but then also at the same time is almost one of those things like, at least for me, I feel like almost like Atlus is kind of like blown their load so early that it's like there's no way we get like any other Atlus games, at least for like until TGS, right? Like I can't imagine we hear any other new games getting announced soon, like brand new games, not like ports.
One thing I did write down is, do you think a P5T will have any like royal content, or it will just basically
locking it in right now? Everyone will hate this. P5T will have a digital deluxe edition with playable Kasumi, Akechi, Sophie, and Zenkichi. 100%. Lock it in.
I don't think they do any Strikers content, because sadly I've not played that game yet.
It's got... I mean, it's like... With the way that would work, it'd be like... Have 0 story content with them, and then just include everything else. You know?
I guess, the last time I tried to buy Strikers, it was like some GameStop, like $5 deal. I said, it's available for pickup at my local GameStop. I'll just do that. And then it was, oh, sorry, your order was canceled.
I thought I gave away all of my copies. I still somehow have 1 copy left of that I still need to give away. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet.
Oh, that was my scattered thoughts, and I'll let someone else talk now.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, man. Any either final words or anything else you want to say before you dip out?
If you want to follow me on Twitter for some reason, I am at the Exeat Man, and it's EXEAT.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for waiting. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
All right, Jackpot. It is your time to shine. How's it going?
Hello, Spencer.
What's going on tonight, my man?
It's been an interesting day. I got off work and I immediately find out that 2 new Persona games are existing.
Yes. I mean, like, for me, I'm going to be honest. The whole Persona 5T thing has just been a long list of me being like, I could dig into this, but I honestly kind of just want to be surprised. And even with me having had no assumptions at all about what it might be, a tactics game was probably the last thing on my list.
I mean, I've never played a tactics game before, but I'm still going to try it because I had never played a Muso game before. I love Strikers. I hadn't really played many rhythm games before. I love Persona 4 dancing. So I'll give it a shot. I mean, as far as, I've heard, people talking about price. I need to see more of the game. We've only seen like a minute of footage. We don't know how long the game is. We don't know really much about it at all. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a big one as well for it will be getting that idea of length is definitely going to help. I think length and price will be a big one if they can get out there and be like, hey, this is like a 50-hour RPG. Or, because like I guess my biggest worry is this is like a cheaper experiment for them. And I'd be really worried if this was just like a digital-only game that's like 20 to 30 hours long and isn't going to get a lot of press and promo. But considering this is like something that they're revealing literally right next to a P3 remake, it is definitely interesting of like, we all kept asking ourselves, okay, how long are they going to keep making spin-offs to Persona 5, especially because none of them were profitable outside of Strikers. So it's kind of like, okay, how are they going to do this? And I find it interesting that the answer has been, okay, we're not going to do a sequel to Strikers yet, but we're clearly going to do something way cheaper than every other game. Like, this game's budget, I wouldn't be shocked if is even smaller than P5D.
I will tell you exactly how this game is going to do great. They're going to show a logo. It's going to say P53, and that 3 is going to pretzel itself into a T. And people are going to buy it.
Honestly, like,
they're going to do it.
I'm going to be real, like, there better be some synergy with these games. Like, I feel like there's got to be, like, a thing of, like, hey, if you pre-order Persona 3 Reload, you get Persona 3 content in P5T. Like, there's no way that these are so close and they don't do anything to like, coexist together.
I can kind of see them doing it the other way around, since P5T is coming out first. Maybe you get P5T and you unlock those. You get, like, you know how Persona 5 Royal had those Persona Q2 costumes? They could probably do ridiculous-looking chibi versions of the P3 cast, put those in P3 Reload. And that will especially work out if the... there's been rumors about Persona 1 through 4 characters showing up in P5T, so those models might already exist.
So, I just put this in the Q&A chat for YouTube, and I'm curious what you think about this one. Will Persona 3 Reload be day one on Switch? If you were a betting man.
I mean...
It's clearly not exclusive.
Because you said this earlier, it doesn't seem like it's doing much more than SMT5 was doing.
100%.
And now, granted, the Switch doesn't handle SMT5 the best.
Hey, they removed the jump button. That's half of the demand on that game taken away.
But I mean, hey, Persona 5 Royal, arguably in some cases, runs better on Switch than it did on PS4. Sometimes I get better load times. Granted, it's at the cost of the resolution being, can I swear?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dog shit. But I think the fact that this game is getting a PS4 version, it's getting an Xbox One version, I don't see why it couldn't run on the Switch. I know it would be successful on the Switch because it would be on the Switch. I think as long as, I mean, I'm personally going to wait until day 2 to buy the game, because I'm going to wait till those performance comparisons come out. If it's running at a stable 30 FPS, I'll get it on Switch.
No, for sure. And this is where it gets tough now, like, finally seeing this series become so much more multi-platform. That said, I'm still completely in the camp of, I think everything I've heard is still true about P6 being a PS5 exclusive, but I think, like, with these other games coming out all at once, it's been really funny of, like, me constantly being like, okay, I know where I want to play these, but it's being harder and harder as each kind of different game comes out. Because like I was saying, I would probably play way more P5T versus PS5, but I'm going to want to just force myself to play it there, just in terms of capturing footage, getting trophies, and other things like that, or streaming, even though I know, like, that game will be perfect on a handheld. Like, there's no reason P5T should not run flawlessly on a Switch. That game looks basic as all hell.
Absolutely. I think for me, it's a matter of, I mean, eyes ain't the best, so it's kind of, you know, whatever I notice. Like, I notice when Persona 5 Strikers gets stutters on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I vastly prefer playing it on PS4. Eventually PS5 whenever I get one of those. Like, played Persona 5 Royal Remastered on a friend's PS5, and 60 FPS. I don't know if it's just because we've had Persona 5 for 6 years. 60 FPS for Persona 5 just looks wrong. It feels more comfortable than 30 FPS, and I don't understand
They
why.
broke us. Atlus broke us many years ago to expect only the lowest of frame rates, and that's all we can do. Oh my god.
As far as the a resident Persona 3 portable disliker, the thing about Persona, I've seen people upset that P3 Reload doesn't seem to have the female protagonist, doesn't seem to have the answer. I mean, in my particular case, I wasn't really a fan of most of the additions in portable, or even some of the ones in FES. Like, as far as like mandatory ones, which in FES there was none, but in P3P you lost your overworld. You had to deal with Persona 4 battle mechanics in a game that wasn't balanced around them.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Reload either rebalances the enemies to actually match the new mechanics, or they actually switch back to the P3 knockdown mechanics, it actually might become my personal new favorite version of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if they can kind of lean into crafty ways of making it a better game while also not going full balls to the wall at the remake, like, I'm personally kind of excited that they're keeping the fixed camera angles, because I feel like if anything that will allow them to just make a game that should just look better as opposed to a fully open 3D environment, you know?
Absolutely. I didn't even like notice the fact that the camera angles seemed fixed until you pointed out when we were rewatching the trailer.
But yeah, it is one of those funny ones. But the last thing I want to ask you before I get in here, we're gonna place a bet. You got to pick a month. Bonus points if you have a day in mind. But what month, 2024, do you think we're gonna be reloading?
Okay, so I came up with this theory a little earlier. Happened to notice that P5 Tactics launches the day before Sai Nijima's calling card. So I think Persona 3 Reload is going to launch either March 5th or April 7th. Or April 6th, depending on which day they actually start the game. Because P3 starts on the 7th, but P3P starts on the 6th. I don't know, it's a whole thing. Yeah, I think it's either going to be like that first week of March or that first week of April. It's going to be like a very, very late winter or right at the start of spring.
I'm going to go with 2 dates, specific though. 3/22, or if they want to be memey, we'll do 4/19 because that's as close as we can get before 4/20. But I feel like those two speak to me as the closest to happen. Now we just have to hope neither of these games suffer from the disgusting trend of digital deluxe early access, because that is always yucky. Always yucky.
I mean, I want to say that I don't think they will, but the fact is, like, Soul Hackers 2 had digital exclusive content. Hate that so much.
Still can't get the Phantom Thieves costumes after all this time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect that to ever happen until we get, Soul Hackers 2, a definitive edition for the PlayStation 6.
Still got that reminds me. I still
$80 at launch.
I gotta go poke a couple of bears at Sega and see whatever the hell happened to that Switch version.
Yeah, I mean, I asked this question a lot. Does Soul Hackers 2 still have that typo in like the very first text box of the game where normal is called the recommended difficulty?
I think that got patched. I think that was part of the November patch when they added run.
We'll check that out. I actually still have not started the game because of that text box. Because I'm being petty about it. I know it's
Listen,
stupid,
man, you didn't pay $60 for a typo right away. I understand.
Yeah, 60, sure. I definitely didn't get that digital deluxe
Oh,
edition
true.
because I
That
wanted
is
all
true.
The content.
Well, Jackpot, thank you for waiting. Do you have any other final words or anywhere you want people to find you?
You can find me on Twitter getting into pointless arguments that don't matter, but nobody wants to do that. I'm on Twitch as they call me Jackpot. I don't stream very often, but hey, I'm there.
It's okay, you and me both. But I appreciate you waiting, man.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good rest of your night, man. All right, next up, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna go on a random bottom trend real fast. We're gonna do bottom 3 next. We've got Luma, Dr. Luma, fresh off the OR. What's going on, Dr. Luma?
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm just very excited. Like, off of Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, I was very disappointed, and yeah, I was mad at him a lot.
Really?
Because that last announcement he did, I swear to God, just sounded like he was talking about Persona 3.
That's so funny, because, like, I've peeked at Twitter a little bit since getting home, and, like, the two things I'm surprised about is how many people, like, were swearing that that's where it was going to get announced, and then on top of that, how many people are like, I don't know, I always, like, if this is how you really feel, whatever, I always hate when I feel like people just post hot take just to be hot take, but I feel like people are already throwing out P3 remake looks bad just to say it, which is always like kind of extra tryhardy to me, but
I've seen that.
But yeah, like, so for you so far, where are you kind of at with both of these?
So with P5T, I'll start that one first then. That one looks okay to me. I haven't played a strategy game. Besides, like, I did dabble into Mario and Rabbids. I never beat it, but it was fun. So, like, if it's anything close to that.
I will say, I'm actually kind of surprised how few, like, strategy fans I've seen kind of out there. But, I mean, strategy games are really, like, especially, like, tactical strategy games, they're still a really niche genre. Like, for every Fire Emblem and Mario plus Rabbids, I feel like there's, like, at least 10 or 15 other games that people just see and then go, well, that seems interesting, but not my cup of tea. So I would love for, like, this to kind of bring a resurgence of Atlus fans into strategy games. Because, I mean, we joked about it at the beginning of looking at it, but, like, hey, man, I would love it if this game's selling well told Atlus, hey, let's bring back Devil Survivor. Fuck it.
I don't know if it'll do that well, just because I feel like, especially, they're going to be announced at the same time anyways, but you have, like, Persona 3 Remake on the horizon. So I don't know how that's going to affect its sales.
It's going to be tough because it's how close is it going to be to P3 that's going to keep the interest. It's going to be releasing in the busiest time of the year of November, which is a real choice. And also, we have to keep asking, does Persona 5 have diminishing returns?
Yeah.
But what about P3R? Where are you at with that one?
I'm very excited. I'm just very happy that it's real. I don't know, like, especially because the announcement was, like, right after, like, Summer Game Fest. I was like, just because I saw a picture of it, like a picture of, like, both of them, and I was like, that's impressive fan art. And then I looked back again. I'm like, oh, that's real. Okay. So, but I'm very happy. I'm just happy. I don't even see a way for them to mess it up. Like, even if it doesn't have MC or the answer, I honestly don't care at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited to be able to play it, like, reimagined.
No, I definitely understand that. I'd be curious. How are you feeling about the character portraits in the sense of, like, are they feeling off to you? Because, like, for me, ironically, this is, like, the least Soejima-looking art we've seen in a while from character portraits, but I kind of feel like this is the most unified style we've seen in a while of, like, yeah, this is pretty much just, like, someone on Soejima's art team said, hey, just to make everyone look HD without changing their design at all. And that's kind of what it, like, feels like to me.
Yeah, it does seem off. I think the one that looks the most off to me is definitely Junpei's. I don't know what it is.
It's always the best friend characters that get fucked up somehow, just like Yosuke.
But I think, like, Yukari looks fine. The police officer looks fine to me, but Kenji's looks okay to me. I don't. It's really just Junpei, I think. But also, we only seen, like, what, 4, I think.
Well, yeah, like, it was like seconds of footage too.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing it's a different angle, it's a different kind of like perspective with it. So it's going to be those weird ones of like, okay, like no one's really complained like, oh hey, his like menu art looks weird. I think it's just probably going to be that one random sprite you see a couple of times, like how there was like that random sprite of Yosuke with that for some fucking reason looks like he's always cross-eyed, and it always bothers me.
Yeah.
But
I think my biggest issue with UI so far is probably the battle UI. I think it just looks a little, I don't know, like it looks like it's trying to do a lot, but then not. Like, because you have like, I noticed finally there's like the moon on the side, but like the actual like where the 4 buttons are looks really just basic. It's just like the blue circle with, I don't know.
The thing that's tricky about Persona 3's battle system is that it was always really basic. Like, one of the surprising things I was shocked we didn't see, one major battle mechanic, is that we didn't actually, unless I'm wrong, like, we don't see the all-out attack animation.
Yeah, that is, they haven't.
So I'd be curious to see if they kind of take a note from P4G and P5 of making those a lot more, like, stand out, of, like, personalized one for each member, or something like that, because I think there's a lot that could really be done there, because, yeah, even no matter what version of P3 you're playing, the battles are not flashy. They're almost, like, the least flashy part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, from the footage, I mean, like, there's that one, like, close-up shot of, like, Makoto that I feel like could probably be something like that. But that's really, I don't know. And also that, I'm assuming that, like, one video of Yukari's doing whatever that was real.
That I can't. I mean, honestly, even today, I was seeing people this morning even being like, "I don't know, guys. It's P3 remake."
It
like
looks similar, but I'm not sure.
It was just so funny to me of just being like, when because I forget however long ago it was when the remake trailer footage leaked. And I posted basically saying, hey, I'm just going to confirm this is for real happening. It was really funny seeing how many people were like, no, you're just saying this. In a way of just saying, like, there's really nothing to gain by me confirming it. It was just kind of a funny thing of being like, well, no, it's just coming, and you should just kind of... This way, if you want it, you can be happy, and if you don't, whatever, you'll just get over it quicker. But it's just extra funny, because in, like, that sense of, like, I've seen almost none of these people... then being like, oh, dang, I can't believe I was wrong.
Yeah. I thought it was really silly when people were saying that was, like, P5X footage, but...
that is extra true, yeah.
I just can't believe that. But yeah, I mean, like, why would you lie about that kind of thing?
Again, hey, man, I'm ready to say something publicly online that bites me in the ass, and then I can be a charlatan forever, but my track record is at least still solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, anything else before we move on to the next person?
No, that's really it. I'm just very excited. That's really it.
I appreciate you popping in, and have a good rest of your night, man.
Yeah, you too.
All right, next up, you don't have to wait this long, but he did. You don't have to. What is going on?
Hey, how's it going?
It is late. I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
I'm on my 4th drink of the podcast, and I think we've only been going for like an hour, so clearly I am very out of practice for this. But how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. It's late, and I'm chilling.
How are you coming off of both trailers? Which one got you the hypest? Which one got you the most meh? Are we day one buy? Where are you at for each?
So my friend tells me that I have very weird first reactions to games, and I think with P5T I can finally agree, because the first thing I said when I saw it was, "Whoa, they got some big ass Mickey Mouse hands." Like, that was the first thing I was like, "Whoa, those are like huge."
Just gonna be thinking about the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse now anytime I see that footage.
He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be great."
Now you don't have to. I gotta make a random request, because I was just thinking about this, and I doubt anyone will do this. Are you still dabbling in drawing every now and then?
Yes, I actually still draw all the time. Still, yeah.
If I could make the most low effort request possible, because I think you'll be the only one online to do this, you should draw the new chick from P5T, the the one that like they show like a couple bits of gameplay for, but just draw her in your style with the largest, most comically accurate Mickey Mouse hands possible, and be like, everyone, I present the first P5T fan art, and there's no one who can stop you.
Look, now I want to do that. Yeah, that's awesome.
If you do, please tag me.
I'll remember. I'll remember that. But no, P5T looks cool. I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks fun. I feel like I'm like in my friend group, I'm like the only one excited for it. Everyone else is just like, and I'm just like, looks cool. Fine.
P5T is gonna have the harder time though, only due to the fact that it's revealed next to a much more anticipated remake, which is always going to be the hard part.
Oh, definitely. I think for like as a side game goes, like I mean, it's cool. I mean, like I've been playing like I played like Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope this year, and I finally got to Fire Emblem Three Houses also this year, so another tactics game won't hurt. Why not? It'll be fun. I think I actually do. I was making fun of them with Mickey Mouse hands, but I actually do like the designs. Like I do think they're kind of funky, but like in a cool way. I like it.
No, and I mean like at the very least, it's like, hey, it's cool to see them doing different art styles, even if it's not like something I enjoy more than PQ or whatever. It's like, hey, yeah. it's at least it's new. It's something different. And I mean like I think. While it would have been way more expensive, man, I would have loved to see that. Like, all the 2D assets we've seen of that game looks fantastic. Like, I think that art style transitions cool. really, really well into 2D.
Mm-hmm. And, but as for P3 Reload, I kind of wish they called it Reloaded, because that's what I'm always going to call it.
What? I mean, it could be one of those weird things where oh my god, what if they do the Japan thing, where they add a the? It'll be Persona 3, the Reload. That sounds way cooler. Persona 3, the Reload.
The Reload.
Oh my god.
That's the most, like, badass thing ever.
Just by adding the word the, but fucking Japan loves that shit.
But that remake, it looks really cool. I know some people are kind of bummed about the Femc thing, but honestly, I know she's got her fans, but I never, like, play as her that much. I think I played as her, like, maybe twice. And then I was like, okay, back to the dude.
Deep Wee brings up a great point. Same thing could be said about Tactica. I don't like how P5 Tactica sounds. Persona 5 The Tactica at least makes more sense, though.
That's true, but I'm also going to have trouble with that name, too, because I have a running joke in my friend group of the hit film Kick-Assia. And I accidentally called it Persona 5 Kick-Assia. No, I accidentally called it Persona 5 Kick-Assia in a call with a friend.
Well, I mean, hey, if there was ever gonna be a game I could ever see the nostalgia critic being in, it would at least be Tactica for sure. Tactica and Kick-Assia.
Sure. I mean, they're time traveling to historical events, and a very historical event was the takeover of Molossia.
It's becoming too canon. It's becoming too canon at this point.
But Persona 3 Remake, you were asking if it was gonna be if it was gonna be on Switch day one, and I think so.
And I at least feel like that's got to be your moneymaker, right? P3, a brand new remake, coming on all consoles. Like, yes, this will do well on Game Pass. Yes, it'll do great on PC and PlayStation. But, like, I feel like this is a big one that it's like, hey, if I was Nintendo, I'd be fucking calling them up and be like, hey, this is coming onto our system, right? Especially now that we know it's on a system that can handle these assets and this engine doing way more in a way scoped down environment.
I wasn't expecting it to be on Unreal Engine. That's what I was like, whoa.
That
kind of like threw me off.
That was a weird a thing. I'm surprised I had not thought of them doing, but it makes a lot of sense though. It makes that development a lot easier for them to copy and paste everything. Porting it to other systems is going to be easier and cheaper. And then all of these demons now that they can just literally Control-C and Control-V into their Persona 3 filter. Just give them a little bit of a blue tint, and there you go. There's Jack Frost.
That's perfect, honestly. Because I thought they were just going to do, like, the Catherine, like, Persona 5 engine, whatever. I don't know what that's called.
You've got to assume, yeah, the Catherine P5 engine's got to be dead, right? Like, they've got to be done with that thing.
I mean, I feel like at this point, because we're moving to more modern hardware, we're probably gonna have to at least like upgrade it or something. It's like I have no idea. Because like I can't imagine Persona 6 is gonna be using the same Catherine engine from like 2011, you know. But you know, you never know. So.
But yeah, so for you, P3 remake, the reload, as we're just gonna have to call it now. Are there any things you're either hoping that Atlus doesn't skimp on though, with this kind of being the remake the way it is?
When it comes to, there's some. What was it? When I heard the leak, or not the leak, like the rumor, they're like, oh, we're gonna have a Persona 3 remake. It's gonna play like Persona 5, and I'm kind of hoping some of those. Like for example, I was like kind of hoping they didn't show it in the trailer, but I'm hoping like a baton pass or something of that nature in the game.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've thought of mostly them just adding quality of life things. Like obviously we're gonna have direct party command, but that's very interesting. Yeah, of adding mechanics. Yeah, like will we see them add older games mechanics back into this with the new one, or do you think maybe even we get new mechanics? Like my at least bet is this, of like there's gonna have to be like cinematic things with like boss fights, because I feel like there are just moments now from P3 that we just think of like, oh, this is from P3, that like we just kind of take for granted. Like I want to see Makoto riding Mitsuru's bicycle. I just like there are these like little moments of like really cool things that would be nice to see, but especially kind of implemented into like whether it be special attacks or different things you can either unlock. Honestly, even like outside of Baton Pass, like a big one that I didn't even think of that would be really smart for them to add and completely just copy from P5 showtimes. Like give us limit breakers again. Let's see Shinji's limit break, whether it be him by himself or with Akihiko. Like those would be great to see completely redone from scratch.
Those would be cool, because I think like adding some of P5's little like exclusive elements would be like very beneficial, or at least because from what I'm hearing, like the leak or like the rumors was that Tartarus is getting like a complete overhaul. Like they're like kind of like making it more like P5 dungeons ish. Not like kind of like lightish P5 dungeons, but
yeah, I mean, obviously
they're gonna go that way.
Obviously, you know, it's one thing we don't see at all in this trailer that is a big question of what are they gonna do. They've got to fully just redesign Tartarus. There's no way that one is the one they're copy and pasting for sure.
Yeah, I feel like at this current point where you can't get away with that, and people are not gonna like that. Especially after like all the intricacies with 5's dungeons.
But any other either last words, last final comments, or where people can find you in all your art and stuff?
My art was on Twitter. It's You Don't Have To, and I mean you're gonna see that big old hand one day. I'm making that.
Thank you.
I will at you on that when that's ever done.
Thank you.
And I actually have a YouTube channel now with some friends. It's called the Ball Pit Bozos.
That's a great name. The BPB.
It's just we play video games, and the whole shtick is that we all pretend we're in a ball pit.
Honestly, yeah. If you want to either throw that in the Discord or the YouTube chat, feel free.
Yeah, we're playing through Earthbound and Kingdom Hearts 1 right now. My friend's playing Earthbound, and I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 1. We're going back and forth. And
Nice.
at least sometime on the docket, we're gonna play Catherine. At least, well, I'm playing it. I have to show my friends that they've never played it.
Well, I mean,
and
yeah. At
feel
the
like
very
they're in
least, you
for a-
gotta at least commit to Catherine multiplayer for one video.
Oh, definitely. Listen. I showed that to my friend once. They came over, and they're like, "I'm too scared to for you to open that. Like, don't open that game." They literally said that. I was like, "So I got a bunch of multiplayer games. What would you want to play?" And he's like, "I'm too scared to play Catherine, but Mario Tennis looks cool, I guess."
It's the poor man's Catherine. I've been told Mario Tennis.
Listen, Catherine's great, but does it have Diddy Kong? I don't know.
That's very, very true point. But yeah, you don't have to. Thank you for waiting, man. Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, have a good night, gang. See ya. Toodaloo.
All right. Next up, They've waited long enough. They've been chomping on the greens long enough. Poto, the lettuce man himself, how's it going?
It is I, the Poto.
How are we doing tonight?
Hello,
How
Spencer.
are we feeling? Are we feeling leaky tonight?
Well, I laughed so hard when I found out the leaks of P5 and P3 because I don't know, it was so freaking random, you know? I was just scrolling down on Twitter and suddenly I saw something that looked like a fan art, you know?
Oh, no,
And
for sure.
then I saw on the top of the image, oh wait, it says Instagram. Oh fuck, I have an Instagram. I'm gonna check that out. And suddenly, boom, 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 I saw all of that. I was so surprised, I don't know, because how stupid this whole leak thing was, you know?
Oh, no, and I mean, I think the fact that it leaked on Instagram is...
It's so random, you know?
It really is. It's like, my only thing is, like, it's extra funny and extra frustrating at the same time, because, like, I would love for this to, like, I'm in the movie theater, I see this on a big screen, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, how do we, what's the first way we ever see Persona 3 Remake? On a super scrunched in, vertical only version of it, with JPEGs on the top and bottom poking out.
Yeah, I mean, this was so freaking random, you know, because Instagram of all things, you don't. When you think about Atlus, you don't think about Instagram, you know. I mean, maybe Twitter or whatever, but Instagram is so freaking random, and the
Yes.
fact that they uploaded both trailers and then like 10 minutes after they deleted them, it was so freaking funny. I was laughing so hard, you know. Yeah, before anything, I'm sorry if I suddenly keep quiet or whatever. My internet is really dying right now.
Honestly,
So
it's holding up better than I thought it would. So you're not the worst person I've ever
yeah,
done this with. So
yeah,
you're
it's
good.
it's green right now, which is impressive because it was yellow the whole time. Yeah, I'm literally 8,000 kilometers away from you, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like it's either gonna be you or it's gonna be Cracklin who's gonna have to be the farthest one for sure. Who's gonna be on here tonight? But
All right, my pana crackers. All right.
exactly. So I gotta ask, how are we feeling about the tactics game? Did it do anything for you?
Dude, I have said it before in the chat, and I'm sorry if I swear or whatever, but I'm a fucking P5 bitch, you know? Like, whatever P5 related, I'm in, but tactics game? Come on, like, when you think about P5, you don't really think about tactics. Like, I was expecting, even the racing game, I don't know, but tactics? That's so random. That's so weird.
I'm gonna make a rare suggestion right now. I'm gonna say that watch this game be the hardest Persona 5 game, because like tactic
That's
games
not
usually
really hard, you
no,
know?
not
Like,
at all.
if
But it
I
would be funny if the game that looks like a McDonald's commercial ends up being the hardest Persona 5 game.
imagine this, imagine the game being even harder than I don't know, the Survivor. I know that the final boss of that game is pretty hard. I think from one of the routes. I think you fight Lucifer or whatever. Sorry for the spoiler. And I've heard that that fight is pretty hard. So imagine P5 tactics being even harder than that. That would be funny. Like, imagine all the fans complaining about that.
Not really like too much with it, but I am curious about it's what was it? I was curious about one thing I wanted to ask you with how, if anything, would you want to see Persona 3 Remake learn anything from
What did you
SMT5?
say? I didn't hear it. I
here.
didn't hear it.
Is that any better?
Yeah. The connection's ring right now.
So yeah, what I was going to ask was, since we're seeing more similarities than we would have guessed from Persona 3 Remake and SMT5, is there anything you want to see this remake bring over that SMT5 either introduced or had in it?
I mean the compendium search function. I mean, like I don't really compare Persona to SMT that much, so I can't really think of any features from the game. But I don't know. I just want the game to run at a stable FPS. That's all.
No, yeah, for sure. And
Like
where are you going to be playing it? Like a console, PC?
I hope it's on Switch, though. If it's not the case, I guess PC because it's what I have available right now.
Okay.
What I was thinking is you know the PS3 movies, right?
Yes.
Couldn't Atlus like re-release the movies or something? Like now that the PS3
Ooh,
remake is
that is
coming
an
out. But
interesting question. Does the
yeah,
remake
like
does
some
the
kind of
remake
advertising for
now
the game.
does the yeah, I mean they've got enough time. Does this finally give us the chance to give us those movies with an English release and or
Yeah,
maybe we get lucky
they
enough and
did the
actually put it in
same
theaters?
for the P5 anime, you know? So why not the movies or at least the first movie? That would be
That's
cool, I
a
think.
honestly, that's a really great idea. I actually would love it if they
They
use
won't.
this.
Obviously, they won't. They will do the minimum effort as always, but I don't
I'm
know.
just
That
saying
would be
maybe I mean if
good to
just
see.
even think if we got like a 4K Blu-ray remaster even that would be great.
Yeah, I don't hope they are releasing that in Latin, you know? I
Oh yeah.
mean, probably it's going to be US only, but I'm used to that, so yeah, whatever.
But no, Poto, I appreciate the idea. That is honestly a really good idea. But thank you so much for waiting. Do you ever either have any final words or anywhere you want people to find you online?
No, I don't have any social media, but I don't know. I hope Atlus makes a good job with the remake, and I hope this brings more Persona to more platforms. You know, if I'm honest, I was hoping more of a B2 port, or well, it's now the SMT anniversary, if I remember correctly.
And we're still there,
So
still dragging along that corpse of an anniversary.
yeah, so I don't know. Honestly, I would be more excited for a DDS port or whatever from the PS2. But
Hey, we
well,
might get
P3
something
is
at Anime
also
Expo
from
next
the
month.
PS2. What?
We,
What
we
did you
might
say?
we might get some news at the concert at Anime Expo. You never know.
All right, right. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, I hope the remake's good. I hope the P5 game is good, though I will not play because I freaking hate strategy games. But like, yeah, I just can't stand them, and they're so boring to me. I'm sorry
That's
for any
okay.
fans, but I really can't.
I'll stream it for you to shit talk on, so you can at least have
Yeah,
that.
I mean, obviously, I will check the game out, but I don't think I will buy it.
No worries, man. But thank you again. Have a good rest of your night and day.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one. All right, it's time for Miranda _the _lesbian. I assume that's what the L word is. Miranda, thank you for waiting. How are you doing tonight?
First off, my username is a joke from a decade ago. My name is Ronald, not Miranda.
Well, I'm sorry, Mirandald, but this will now have to be your canon name for the rest of the phone call. But thank you for waiting.
I am surprisingly okay with that.
How are you doing tonight? And what are our leaky thoughts as we're winding down on this nightly podcast?
So, first off, I'm a terrible person. As soon as I saw the P5 Tactica trailer, I messaged my friend, "Yo, the SMT anniversary, they just announced Devil Survivor 3.
I mean, I feel like that's actually more evil than all the people who think that this is Fire Emblem cross SMT. That at least seems actually more hurtful of an idea.
Honestly, I think Tactica looks okay. I'm not too big on strategy games. I'm the one person that actually enjoyed Monarch. So, I mean, I'll pick it up, I'll play it, but I don't really have that many thoughts. On the other hand, Persona 3 Remake. It still doesn't feel real.
It doesn't. I'm honestly still ready for like when I was first, I can't say who first told me that the remake was happening, but I legitimately thought they were fucking with me. And that feeling has never gone away. I keep feeling like I'm gonna find out tomorrow, nah, just kidding, that was a tech demo. Because, like, it's just one of those funny things, like, oh, yeah, that's probably, like, not that real. And then you look at it being, like, early 2024, like, in less than 12 months, we'll be playing that game, is a wild thought.
Also, earlier when you were asking what you think the release date is, I think the obvious thing, January 31st, the date of the final battle.
I feel like that's too early, though. That would be good, but I feel like they're going to want to push it at least until March.
That's fair. I mean, I could also see April because start of the Japanese school year, it just kind of makes sense there.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff, especially the closer they get to Golden Week and whatnot, in terms of benefiting with it.
That said, with the price of it, I think if they include the answer and FemC, it's going to be $70. If they don't, then I think it's going to be $60, and they're going to charge those as DLC later on.
Oh, well, how about this then? What do you think the reaction would be to a Persona 3 Reload, including no answer content, no FemC, no DLC, but it is $70? What do you think the reaction to that would be?
I think I'm going to have to justify to everyone in my friend group why I'm still supporting Atlus.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like this is the first game that screams to me this will be $70. Although Sega's a weird company, man. I mean, that Sonic Sega Superstars thing, I'm kind of shocked that's $60. So
I mean,
we're living in strange times.
I'm hoping it's not 70, just because I have one friend that is completely boycotting Nintendo over Tears of the Kingdom being 70, and I don't want to lose Persona with them.
That's true. I would say this. While I have accepted our $70 price tag Overlords with open arms, I don't mind. As poor as I am, note this, everybody. I've never been more poor and unable to buy things than 2023, and I'm still fine with $70 games. That's all I'm going to put. I'm very aware I'm on the wrong side of the price argument here, but I'm just saying I've never been more poor as a grown man in my entire 30-year existence on this planet, and I'm still looking at Nintendo asking for $70 and going, you could have asked for more. They could have charged for more. I would have fucking bought it. I don't give a shit.
I mean, Nintendo's one of the only companies that still puts consistent quality into their games. It's not like they're pulling an EA shoving microtransactions in.
Yes, 100. And even Nintendo, I still cannot believe this. Don't even, like, there's not even plans for a season pass, like, at least at launch, whereas Breath of the Wild had a season pass. So that's extra impressive.
Yeah.
But yes.
One other thing I want your opinion on with P3 Remake, since it seems like the cutscenes, and sorry I got quiet, it's midnight and I heard a door open, I don't want to get yelled at.
Boy, what I tell you about talking about Persona in the middle of the night with strangers.
Anyways, I noticed that it seems to be doing in-engine cutscenes during, like, when it's briefly showing the awakening. So with the anime cutscenes supposedly being out, do you think that could be proof that they're trying to do FemC and just make it easier to integrate her instead of having to do separate variations of the scenes for her?
I'm gonna double down on that answer, and I'm gonna say yes. And Persona 3 Remake will only have one animated cutscene, and it will be its opening video. And that's if it even has that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 0 2D animated cutscenes in P3R.
See one on that, and I'm going to say it's going to have 2. The opening, and then it's going to play the original opening.
I hope
Like, if you wait on the
I
title
hope they
screen.
keep like the janky ass 4x3 version of it, no less too. Don't even like zoom in or AI upscale it. Just keep it like 240p opening.
God, I love Nocturne HD.
But yeah, man. Any other final thoughts before let you go, or any other anything else before you dip out? Anywhere you want to plug before you get out of here?
I don't really have that much of an online presence other than my Discord. I did try streaming, but I can't keep up a consistent schedule. I guess I'm just gonna plug my job and say shop at Dollar General.
All right. Get your copies of Persona 5 Tactica in the next 30 years at Dollar General, everybody. Check them out.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you waiting. Have a good one. All right, next up from the land, I keep wanting to say Kirkland, like as if there's a Kirkland version of you. But Crackland signature, fresh off of the Suda jerk-off bus, 481 himself. How's it going?
Oh my god, I didn't expect you going to say that. like truthfully, I don't expect anything from the Grasshopper Direct. I learned to expect none from Suda now.
Yeah,
because-
the best thing with Suda, expect nothing, and normally you won't be disappointed unless you're playing No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again. Outside of that, you should never be disappointed.
Like, I don't know. No More Heroes 3 really burned me out, man. Even though I love other Suda's game, No More Heroes 3 feels like a letdown for me.
I am just sad in the sense that I have still not played No More Heroes 3. It is on PS5. I have no reason not to play it, but here I am, still being a fake fan.
I mean, it's still gonna look like a clay.
No,
I don't
for sure.
know. I still don't know why Suda makes No More Heroes 3 on Unreal Engine, because clearly the Switch can't handle it.
Listen, man, he was just getting the old he was just getting that old Nintendo paychecks, letting it slide. Like, all right, let me just see what we can make happen here. And then you know what? He's cashing that paycheck and taking us to Boner Town with Shadows of the Damned remastered. So I'm here for it.
Well, sorry, Chicken Guts. I look like you're mad.
It's okay. It's no Flower, Sun, and Moon. So really, who's happy?
Oh, please. If I
We're
get an
listen, man.
announcement
We're
from
running out of
Direct,
We're running out of Suda games to. We're running out of Suda games. So like, we got to do something.
I mean, I don't know. I just learned to don't expect anything.
Oh my gosh! But yeah. So trailers today. Any tactical thoughts? What's your tactical history? Do you like tactic games? Does it do anything for you?
Just to be told, I'm actually disappointed that they use chibi, but at the same time, it's also expected that they use chibi. I don't know. I just not very into Persona 5 Tactics. Me not being a tactics fan, like a strategy game, is not really my thing. I tried Valkyria Chronicles and I hated it.
It's a tough one because like I almost would even say less than chibi. I feel like P5T just looks like you ever seen like Super Deformed, like not, it's like kind of similar to chibi, but like that thing where like everything's overly exaggerated proportions. It feels more like that.
They really should call it Persona Q. They really should say Persona Q Tactics.
I'm just saying, imagine the acronym, how much better, because just think, I don't know how well this pun works if you don't speak English that well, but I think Persona Cutie would be great. Persona Q Tactics, Persona Cutie.
Really good. But then again, Persona 5 brand is much stronger than Q.
Very true. That's for sure. But what about the big remake one? Did the remake either disappoint, excite?
I really want this remake because I played Persona 5 Fest and Persona 5 P. Persona 5, Persona 3. I meant Persona 3 Fest and Persona 3 Portable, and I don't like it.
How come?
Look, it's not like I cannot play it. The only Persona 3 material that I actually finished is the Persona 3 movies. That's it. I just want to experience the game, and sorry man, Persona 3 Fast and P doesn't really gel with me. The one mechanic that really hold me back is the tired mechanics. I hate that. I'm sorry for not being able to grind in one day, but come on, let me do it.
So, what do you think this remake could do that might interest you, if at all, into coming back and wanting to finish it?
Actually good port. Like, actually make it a good port to PC. That's it.
Trying to think, what was your thoughts on the 5 port for Royal?
I actually haven't played Port Royal, the PC port of Royal, but I heard it's good, so I have good hopes. But also, I don't know. Unreal Engine games have really bad reputation. I mean, look at Callisto Protocol. Look at Jedi Survivor.
We got to be honest. There's never been a worst year for PC ports. Like, the last 12 months of PC ports have been dog shit.
Oh, yeah. I don't expect anything. I just want this game, alright? I just want to actually say I finished Persona 3.
I'm just saying, with the power of Game Pass, there's a chance, just a chance, not a lot, there's a chance, though, that you might be able to play this game and hope it runs as good as the Nintendo Switch on your PC.
I mean, probably, yeah. Look, I just want this Persona 3 remake to actually be faithful. I don't know. I only know from the story of the movie. I want this to actually perform well, and I want this to not be $70 because, well, I don't know. You may say $70 is cheap, like passable, but man, when converted to other currencies,
oh no,
terrible.
It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. Trust me, I'm aware. Other currencies, it's awful.
Like, I believe Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth, I don't know, Remake Integrate cost almost as much as people's salary here. It's that terrible.
No, and I get that, but I mean, a lot of it also is. I feel like some companies do regional pricing better than others, but Atlus and Sega have clearly shown they are not good in terms of like keeping it like fair in terms of like what it should be in terms of universal pricing.
It could have been worse. It could have been Square Enix, you know.
Listen, man, they're making their games on 2 Blu-ray discs. I don't know what you're expecting them to do. They're trying their hardest.
Look, Nintendo can do it. Nintendo costs like $30-$40 here, converted, of course, to US.
True.
And I actually love it. I bought Xenoblade 3. I love it, and it cost me $40. I want that kind of price adjustment. Please, just give me cheap games. It's not like I can afford one.
All right, then. I'm gonna ask you one final one before I'll let you dip in. What price in your region do you think Tactics will cost?
$50
Okay. Well, now would you pay it $50 for it?
Hell no. I'll pay it. I'll buy it when it's $10 at most.
It'll be a good Steam summer sale game in like 2 years for sure. Then you might dip on it.
I don't think I'll buy it. I just don't.
By the way, we haven't talked about the engines. I'm gonna call this right now. Tactics screams Unity to me. That screams that is being made in Unity.
Yeah, it screams Unity, but I'm fine. Like I said, I've seen worse games. I've seen worse games built on Unreal Engine. I've seen better games built.
I
on,
mean, yeah, say what you will about Unity, but at least Unity doesn't have fucking texture streaming issues on all PC ports.
Yeah, look at Roller Drum. Roller Drum looks great, and it runs like 4K 120 FPS on PlayStation 5.
Oh man, I'm gonna say this right now. P5T better be able to be like 300 frames per second. That game better have no frame cap at all. Oh my god. All right. Well, any other final words or anything else before we get out of here?
Play Flower Sun and play FSR Remake when it actually exists, please Suda. And also play Wheel of Katamari. I actually love that game. One of the good remasters that come out this year.
I'm glad someone mentioned it because I feel like Bandai Namco completely forgot that they released that game last week.
Okay. Pana for Poto. I don't know. Chagingus. He wants Chagingus score to be mentioned. Look at that for better reviews than IGN.
Oh my gosh. Well, man, thank you so much for waiting. Have a good rest of your day and night. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Mipana for everyone. Thank you, Spencer.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, we are almost there. Are down to our final 1, 2, 3, 4, folks. I'm going to start with Night Gamer, who should be next. Night Gamer, thank you for waiting.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Late Night Gamers podcast, but how are you doing today?
Doing all right. I watched the Summer Game Fest with some friends, got excited about Final Fantasy VII, went over, visited my parents, came back, and bam, check my feed.
It's a good day for game news. Also, shout out to a random game I've not seen a lot of hype for. I shouldn't be excited for Metroidvania Prince of Persia, but I think that looks cooler than it has any right to.
That is true. That is legit true. That it actually looks like a pretty decent fun action platformer.
But yes, what do you want to talk about first? Thoughts on Tactics or thoughts on reloading the remakes?
I'll talk about P3 first, because that Persona 3 Portable back in 2015 when you had to emulate it was how I got into Megami Tensei.
Oh, wow. That is a weirdly specific way and platform to play Portable.
I wasn't allowed to have a smartphone in high school because my parents knew that I would get into way too much trouble with it. But they let me have a laptop because I was going to early college high school. So because of that, I was just emulating everything because I didn't have a budget. And I heard about Persona 3 Portable and decided to try it out. And ever since I heard Soul Phase, I knew I would love this franchise. So yeah, so that's how I got into Megami Tensei. And so P3 Reloaded looks cool. I am worried that we still haven't seen any kind of evokers. Like, maybe they are there, and I'm just missing it, but I keep looking.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. I forget when I was asked this, but I did ask directly. Evokers, at least as of 4 months ago when I talked to someone involved with the project, are in the game. But that's a great point of, like, battles, ironically, I feel like, for as much as this trailer shows... Yeah, there's not that just shot, though, of we see evokers, but we don't see them gun-to-head summoning Persona like that. So that is kind of interesting. But no, I've at least confirmed that, no, it's not been, like, taken out. But that is funny of, like, it's such an iconic thing, but that shot's not really in the trailer. Also, yeah, Deep Weeb brings up a great point in the chat. Can't really take out evokers while calling the game Reload.
Yeah, like I can totally get it from like a marketing perspective, maybe not emphasizing the reloader, the evokers. Yeah. Other than that, as long as they tighten up the social links a little bit. I had a random thought while we were here. What if they gave the female protagonist her own campaign?
Whew, see, that's the kind of stuff that like people would love. But I just feel like absolutely no way in hell the budget would be there for it, but I would love to be wrong. I will say this, out of all the art we've seen, the P3R remake, like, art we've seen with Makoto laying on his back, almost kind of like he's, like, diving into the ocean look, that looks like it's half of a cover art. It looks like you could slot FemC on the other side extremely easily.
Kind of like how in Soul Phase they have the shots of both protagonists on the other end floating towards each other.
Yeah, like the shot reverse shot just seems way too easy not to do. But again, it's this damned if you do, damned if you don't think with the reveal of it, of like, realistically, there's no reason not to have FemC for this version of the game. But at the same time, we live in a cruel society that likes to be mean to us. So, like, I hope beyond hope that she's in there, because it's like it. But again, it seems like one of those things that would be a perfect TGS reveal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Like, they show off even more of the combat and whatever, and then, like, you know, reveal the release date at TGS, and then right after that, you see FemC step out like she does in Persona Q2.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a thought.
One final really weird idea, either for you and or for chat. How would we feel if FemC is in the game, but both FemC and male protagonist are both actively in the story at the same time?
I honestly would be good with that.
So, like, kind of taking, like, the Assassin's Creed side of things of you can be male or female, and the other version is just, like, your sibling who's there at the same time.
Yeah, I could see that happening, and I could see that working actually pretty well. The big thing that I would, like, be slightly concerned about is that would imply, because only one of those protagonists would be sacrificing themselves, right? Spoilers for Persona 3. Would be sacrificing themselves at the end. So that would imply that the other sibling would be the protagonist for the answer instead of Aegis, or instead of Aegis. I can't remember how they pronounce it. But yeah, so that's what I would see end up happening, and I'm not sure if that part I would be okay with, because I like Aegis as a character.
No, yeah, and I definitely get that. It would be interesting. My only other kind of thought of how they could kind of implement it without being scummy or separated, I think it would actually be a really cool thing to lock behind New Game Plus. But unfortunately, I feel like Atlus has gotten really lazy with adding things into New Game Plus for the last couple of years. And again, then there would just be people being like, well, I only want to play FemC, so why do I gotta beat the game or something like that? So that's a tough one. Weird thing I also don't want to see, along with the please don't make a DLC. Please don't make... Please don't make this like a 3 months later update. Like, please don't add her as like a weird should have been there when the game launched patch. That's always a weird one.
Yeah, I feel that. Too many games do that kind of thing.
But any other final thoughts or any other things you want to plug before we get you out of here?
I'm currently just a lurking Redditor, but hopefully by the end of the month I'll have my first YouTube video focusing on Final Fantasy 15, since Final Fantasy 16 is coming out. 15 is what got me into gaming in the first place, so I want to make a video on that. So hopefully soon I'll have that and be able to share that with people.
Well, I look forward to it as a avid 15 defender, and always will be. Cannot wait, man. Good luck on the video.
That's it. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Blinky, you are next, and then we're going to do Chiaki and then Pi to wrap it up. Blinky, how are we doing tonight? Blinky is falling asleep.
Doing all right. Sorry,
there
I
we
had
go.
to unmute myself.
No, you're good, man. It is late, and everyone's slowly losing their minds. Just like
So,
Atlus's
Tom-
legal department.
Everybody's been hating on SRPGs. I had the opposite experience. So when I was made aware of the P5T, the Tactica announcement, I was in the process of going back to an old ROM of Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War, trying to figure out who I had paired in Generation 1 for my Super Soldier breeding program.
Oh my god.
People who have played Fire Emblem 4 know exactly what I'm talking about. All one of you.
Oh no! I mean, what was really funny was like, ironically, my brain was there, but I was also like, I could actually also see you do like weirdly referencing XCOM as well, because for whatever reason, XCOM and Fire Emblem have way too much in common. For God's sakes,
right?
But yeah, like, so as a fellow Tactics fan, what are you kind of hoping that we see either them implement? I will say, I love the positioning being how you do all-out attacks. I think that's like a really interesting kind of idea, as opposed to just making it an OP special for it. And I think smaller parties, because it looks like the largest you can have is up to 3 members in a party, is a really kind of nice kind of limiter. Kind of going back to what people have talked about before of being like, yeah, like looking at party sizes in like Mario plus Rabbids, like having a smaller party really helps doing more, you know?
So, and again, coming from Fire Emblem, right? Almost every Fire Emblem game has a triangle attack where you have the 3 siblings or the 3 Pegasisters or whatever, and their positioning matters. And I do think there's something to be said. The first TRPG I ever played was Final Fantasy Tactics, way back when, on PS1. And I love that game to death. But as I've played more tactical RPGs, I realized, like, oh, positioning in that game is really not that big a deal. Like, it's not... It feels way less tactical than a game like, you mentioned, XCOM, Mario plus Rabbids. Like, those games, it feels like your positioning is much more important. And I'm really hoping P5T makes that important. I'm a fan, as a fan of the tactics genre. I really hope that this doesn't just feel like a skin put on. I was not the biggest fan of Devil Survivor when I played it, because it didn't feel like positioning was as important as in most of the tactics games I really enjoy.
No, for sure. And it is one of those weird ones of like, tactic games, I feel like, are always this weird thing of it's almost impossible to have a universally agreed upon tactics game. There's always going to be something that's like going to either turn somebody off, seem too hard, seem too easy, not gel well, and it just generally makes it a really hard product to sell. And then makes it really interesting when you see these games that do work really well. Like, look, a great example of like a tactics game, even though it was less tactical, but still kind of in that same boat, but completely was a sales failure. Like, looking at something like Midnight Suns. If you just took that concept of it's XCOM, but Marvel, you would think, oh, this should sell like fucking gangbusters. But for like multiple reasons, from like art style to presentation to like delivery, a lot of people just didn't want to pick it up. It's not like I've never met anyone who played Marvel Midnight Suns and went, this is bad. It's just usually a lot of things kind of get in its way. So I think that's a big part of why I'm really critical about P5T. And like, man, my worst fear for that game is there is a solid tactical game that people are just going to say, yuck, gross chibis, and never touch it.
And I mean, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the Persona Q. You know, somebody earlier mentioned the Persona Q style art style, and that's not the biggest fan of that. But I can look past it if it's mechanically interesting. So I'll have to see how it is mechanically going into it. I've got such a backlog of games that I can wait a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sort of at that luxury moment of like working a full-time job. You know, I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. That's when I do most of my really heavy, like, revert to high school age gaming. But you know, most of the year I don't have much time, so I develop this backlog of like, oh, that was really cool on a Steam sale. I'm gonna pick that up when it's $10.
And for you, because we brought this up in a little bit for it, where do you feel like this kind of game like Tactica is going to fit best for you in terms of platform? Like, what do you think is going to be like the best one to jump into that you're going to want to try first?
I mean, I prefer PC. I'm at the point now, the only two platforms I own are a PC and a Switch, so. And I'm usually a PC guy. There are very few. I have a vision issue, so there are very few games where the portability of a Switch is really a plus. And especially a tactics game where you have to sort of micromanage where everything is on the board. You're like, all right.
And yeah, and it is that thing as well as it, especially kind of bringing a vision with it of readability, text size, things like that with it. But no, I can definitely kind of see that with it. The like one saving
anybody who's ever played Fire Emblem Three Houses outside of docked mode knows
Jesus.
Like,
let me get my magnifying glass ready for it. But like the only kind of saving grace I'm gonna hope is that I will hope a new generation of Atlus weebs are at least going to say, well, I may not want to buy it full price, or I may not want to buy it day one, but fuck it, it's on Game Pass and I'll give it a shot. I hope at least there's a lot of people who kind of give it the old college try because of the like lower barrier to entry.
That's fair.
But any other thoughts like P3 related, or any other final things you wanted to put out there, man?
So I'm one of those fake fans who's barely played P3. I think I got to like somewhere in May on a ROM before giving up and just being bored out of my mind. So there's a part of me that wants to pick it up as a remaster and maybe try it again and hope I'm not miserable again. And now that I've played 4 and 5, I was one of those guys who got into SMT really hard in the PlayStation 2 era, Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga and stuff like that.
Ironically, Blinky, I would just say fuck that. And kind of my biggest worry with the remaster, but this has now just been true, I would just say fuck the remaster and just kind of wait for the remake, because at this point, the remake's going to be doing way more to appeal to you than the remaster will. The remaster's not going to drag you back in.
I must have misspoke.
Oh, no, you're good. But I mean, for people out there, like, that's now a serious thing of like, hey, this port we just got 5 months ago is fucking going to be way less useful to a lot of people.
I assume the point of it was to get P3 back in people's mouths. Like,
it was all about the money. It's all about the money, Spider-Man. They want to get the $20 from you. All the suckers back in January.
Or this is the last hurrah for FemC as Atlus just fires a middle finger shaped rocket into people's faces.
I will say, I wouldn't be shocked if somewhere between now and Tactica, we still get a randomly late as fuck physical release of P3 and 4. I'm ready for it. Just don't do the Sonic Origins fuck. Yeah, like did you hear what they're doing with Sonic Origins physical collection?
Speaking of, by the way, that was the big news for me today. I'm not gonna lie, it was a new 2D Sonic game. Like, oh right, people remember that those are the good Sonic games.
I was excited to see the trailer. Much like Tactica, my only big question though is, please tell me who's making it, and I hope it is not Sega.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because we know it's not the Origins team, and we know it is not the Mania team.
All right, I'm worried again.
But no, like I was saying, like, did you see the leak? So Origins Plus is coming out with a bunch of new additions, playable Amy, and Game Gear games, and they're doing a physical release, because people's big complaint with it were like, hey, where the fuck is the physical version of Sonic Origins? But did you see what they're doing with the physical copies?
I did not.
Bad news, everybody. Even though we had to wait over a year for a physical copy, Sonic Origins is just the base game on the disc, and all of the DLC is a download code.
Oof.
For this game, that is just like 9 megabytes of Game Gear games and some updates. Because God forbid they include them like Sonic Mania Plus. Still a bummer. Cool that we'll still get at least a physical copy for it, but it's like, yeah, like, these are the kind of things that like keep making me wonder, like, what's happening at Sega? Why are they so fucking weird and inconsistent sometimes?
Hey, at least RGG Studios seems to be still doing good stuff.
They're like, man, they're the fucking... I'm just continuously glad those games sell and make a lot of fucking money for that company, because that's got to be the only reason they keep getting away with banger after banger after banger. Because, yeah, I've not seen the trailer for The Man Who Sold His Name, but I cannot fucking wait to play that game.
Yeah, I've actually just started going back through all those. There's a part of me that hates myself enough to try and start platinuming those.
Oh, that wouldn't be like a long, hatefully thing for it, but that's, yeah. I have too many other games to even begin to justify it, but I still need to pick up Ishin. Speaking of being broke as fuck, but that continues to go down in price, so at least my wallet will feel better about buying Ishin by the time I actually get around to having time for it. But Blinky,
it's all about patience. I mean, I've only bought one $70 game, and that's Tears of the Kingdom.
You picked a good one at least.
It feels worth it.
No, for sure.
Retroactively moved Breath of the Wild down 3 slots in my list of favorite Zelda games.
But yeah, Blinky, thank you for waiting. I appreciate the patience, man. I'm gonna get to our last two, much like Kane mentioning over here. It is getting horrendously late, and I cannot believe I just looked at the time. Like, how long have I been streaming? It feels like it's been an hour. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes of me reacting. So,
crap.
welcome,
have a good evening.
welcome back, everybody. SMTN. We just needed news for Spencer to get off his fucking ass and podcasting it, apparently. But next up, our final two, we've got Chiaki, fresh off the, I assume work? I'm going to assume you were working today, but Chiaki, my man, how's it going tonight? Looking for the mute button. Fell asleep listening to Spencer. Pi Studios ran over to Chiaki's house to break their microphone so they can only listen. So what we're gonna do?
Hey, yo, Chiaki, are you there?
What you should have done, Pi, is you should have just done your best Chiaki impression and then be like, "All right."
So I have no idea what they sound like.
Oh, it's okay.
Literally no clue.
Chiaki or Marcos, whenever you end up seeing this, just drop on in. It's 2 people. I don't really care. You could pop in. It don't matter anytime you're ready. But Pi, we got you here. So get on in. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? Why the fuck are we still awake? What's going on with the world?
Why are we still awake?
Because it's the Keeleys. We're here for the Keeleys. Fuck E3. We're here for leaks.
Honestly, was E3 dying worth it? Was it really?
Considering what I know E3 was going to be, I'm going to say this was justified. E3 was worth dying only because the E3 we would have got this year would have fucking sucked, and that's the only reason I kept making fun of Gnarly for getting tickets to E3.
Wait, he actually got tickets to E3?
He got full on invited to E3 and everything, and then I kept telling him, I was like, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, might not be the best horse to vote on, because he kept me like, all right, man, I'm ready for... Because this would have been his first E3. He's like, let's go, first E3, and I'm like...
He didn't, buy plane tickets, did he?
Oh, he can afford it. I'm sure he's fine. But Chiaki, I see you popped back in. If you want to try unmuting, you're more than welcome to get in on this.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to use my PlayStation to try to talk, but I guess it didn't work.
I forgot about that being a thing. Don't worry, man. I fucking
Discord's on console now.
I fucking fumbled because I've unplugged my headset in the computer, so no one's gonna look dumber than me tonight. But yeah, so you guys, I'll let you finish first. But Pi, what have you been up to today outside of the leaks? And Chiaki also, what have you been up to today after he's done?
I was just working all day. I wasn't even able to watch Summer Games Fest. I saw the Sonic announcement pop up on my phone. I watched that, and then I went back to work. But then after that, I obviously saw the leaks, and I'm just so surprised that this has happened again. Like, why are there no Atlus employees or Sega employees checking to make sure that things don't go up when they're not supposed to? I
have sent out at least 5 messages anonymously of course, not the people I'm messaging, they know who I am, but I've messaged at least 5 current and former Atlus employees, because I'm like, I swear to God, this leak had to be on purpose. There's no way any other way.
It feels
like
deliberate.
It does! Like, you don't just tell me that Atlus says, fuck you unionizing, and then you just happen to leak their 2 biggest trailers this summer. But yeah, seriously, as soon as I'm done with this podcast tonight, I'm going to start uploading the audio version and immediately just watching Summer Games Fest, because I haven't felt this much FOMO in a long time.
Yeah. Also, Spencer, I actually sort of like upscaled the P3 trailer. Do you want that?
No,
it looks a lot better than
I'm
what.
okay. Because like part of me is still kind of like I'm going to be watching it because Xbox is what, Sunday, right? Are they Saturday or Sunday?
I think it's Sunday. Yeah.
On my plan is I'm still going to be reacting to Xbox Live since I have the day off. So I want to like properly enjoy that in like hopefully 4K or as close to that as possible, because like as I mentioned earlier, there's no worse way to reveal gameplay than Instagram only.
Instagram Reels, and someone screen records it and then crops it in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I appreciate it kind of being out there, but like, well, yeah, my gut's just telling me, I'm like, enjoy it on the big screen when Big Philly Spencer's out there saying, guess what, kids? Pretend you're surprised. Here's 2 trailers from our good friends at Atlus.
And also, now that I'm thinking about it, is this all that's going to be at Xbox Showcase for Atlus?
100%.
I was low-key expecting SMT5.
You know what? That actually would be pretty cool. My gut says that I could see that being at the PC Gamer Show, though.
That's true.
Because I'm still ready
the
for...
SMT anniversary is just not happening.
Listen, they're waiting for Spencer to go down to LA, and then they're going to announce 9 projects at a concert 5 people are attending.
So true.
As is tradition. I will say this, though. Because I do... Marcus, I do want to hear what you think, but I gotta say, for all the people out there who think the Anime Expo Atlus West panels are going to have huge-ass announcements, I would be fucking flabbergasted if there's any new... there might be, like... Oh my god, you know I just realized.
The cat's out of the bag.
Well,
that's
yes, that's their big thing that they're going to have. It is possible they could have a playable build of Tactica at AX. That might be too soon.
Oh, that would be
cool. But I was just thinking, because they have 2 different panels, I'm going to say this right now. If nobody asks it at the panel at AX, and I'm going to be recording the Atlus panel for them, I will 100% just ask them in their panel, hey, did somebody leak this just because of the unionization thing? Because I'm like, oh, no one's going to bring that up.
And no one is going to entertain that question at all.
Like, sir, I don't even know what a union is. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
No, that's so funny, man. Oh, I hope there's a Q&A. But now that I've said this, there probably won't be. But, there's going to be so much chaotic opportunities for it. But yes, Chiaki, enough going around with it. A, were you working today? And B, what did you think of the trailers? We can now hear you.
So I guess I wasn't really working because unfortunately I was kind of let go from my temp agency, so I did get to watch the Summer Games Fest. There were a few things I was excited, like Mortal Kombat 1, the Sonic game. The Yakuza games I'm also excited, mainly just for the hostess stuff, because I don't know if you guys were hearing about the auditions that was going around.
I have not. Are they like, do they have like some weird like next level future porn stars I'm not aware of?
They got a VTuber who I've been a big fan of who's going to be part of it. I'm pretty sure you guys, I don't know if you guys heard of her. Name's Kason.
Really? Oh my god.
Yes. And she's like a big Yakuza fan.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about that, but that honestly, like, for where Yakuza's at right now, fuck it. Yeah, why not? The man who sold his name and gave up his pride and became a VTuber fan. Why not? Oh my god. That's fantastic. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I'm actually surprised Yakuza was here today. Only because I feel like no one's talking about this. Did you guys know there's a Yakuza like direct on Thursday night?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I forgot about it, but I knew about it recently.
And it was just one of those things where I was like, actually, yeah, like it's either here. Let me see, like Yakuza, like direct or
14th
showcase
or 15th.
I think it's next week or late this week. I'm trying to
14th
remember.
is the grasshopper one I saw.
Here we go. Yes, so there is a Ryuga Gotoku Yakuza showcase, and it is June 15th. So yes, next week, June 15th, really late. It's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's why I was like, it's called the RGG Summer Summit. And I was like, oh, clearly they're going to save all their Yakuza news for that. So the fact that Keeley got this, I was like, wow, okay. So, like, that makes me wonder, like, maybe that's where they're going to show a lot more, like, Yakuza 8 footage or, like, drop a demo or whatnot. But it's just kind of like, yeah, like, everyone's plans for what Jeff may or may not have been able to have was, like, kind of all over the place. Because, like, at least for me, I was like, there's no way in hell we're seeing Final Fantasy until 16's out. And so we were proven wrong here. And then even in my brain, I was like, oh, clearly they're going to announce Persona 6 before they announce Persona 3. And now we have 2 other games coming out realistically before that's even coming out. So, but yeah, like Marcos, for you though, out of the trailers, I got to at least ask, because we haven't talked about this. Number one Flu fan. How does Haru look in the new art style? Be honest with me.
She looks cute. I mean, Haru looks adorable as always.
Now, by the way, there is important Haru news this month. Don't forget, in June, I think it's actually like next week or in 2 weeks, Persona 5's manga, Volume 10, it's the first cover, it's all Haru. So you're legally obligated to buy a cover.
Let's go.
They finally got out of 9 years of Futaba covers, and we've now moved on to Haru covers.
Right.
As they should.
Is it going to like her arc with her father?
Yep. Yeah, we're finally entering her arc. Although, ironically, we still have to... Ironically, we actually still have to get out of the Futaba Palace. We're still in Futaba's Palace right now. But, be too easy otherwise. But yeah, so... Tactica... Actually, yeah, you enjoy some Tactica games. So, Marcus, for you, like, did Tactica surprise you? Did it kind of live up to what you were expecting? Like, where are you at with Tactica?
Tactica does look pretty neat. I do like, because I do, like you said before, I do like me some tactical games. You know, like Fire Emblem, Disgaea, and even the Mario Rabbids games. Those were also pretty good. It does look neat, though I'm actually curious to know what more could be, or what else could be showed off, because we only saw from that one little snippet of gameplay from the trailer. It looks like it'll probably hopefully be more out of it.
Yeah, and that's like the tough part with it as well, especially of like I'm curious how much of both we kind of see. And in what order in the future. Like, my hope is at least this because you have to remember, some like the big showcases are kind of happening right now, but there's also live demos, and kind of like we were talking about with Anime Expo, I'm like, I feel like if Tactica's coming out in 5 months, I feel like it wouldn't be that crazy of an idea to, like, get hands-on impressions of it, you know?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, probably. AX, probably they're gonna have like maybe like demo boots. Like
at the very least, there will be at AX. At the very least, there's gotta be. I don't know why my brain is completely frying with it. Hold on one second. But yeah, at the very least with it, I feel like there's got to be like the poster and like the swag bag thing they always do. That's kind of like where my brain's at in terms of like, oh, they'll at least probably do this just because I feel like that'll at least kind of be like that bare minimum of what to do. But I feel like if they wanted to like really kind of have like, I don't know, and Anime Expo is such a weird thing of like game demos are there. Like I remember Anime Expo was like legit the first and only place you could actually play like Digimon Survive, talking about like tactical games. Like that was the first place you could ever play Digimon Survive like a month before it came out. So this would realistically be like the only Western show we see Tactica at with anything kind of going on, but we still have a lot to learn with it. And I feel like if anything, if there was ever going to be a Persona game that really could help by having a gameplay demo, this is definitely one, just because I feel like tactic games are so easy to just kind of like, hey, here's the first chapter. It's really easy. It's just a big old tutorial. Have at it, you know? Tactica will have to wait and see. Weird question I want to ask both of you, because this hasn't been brought up yet. Is the logo a good logo? Like, I get it. I get it's a flag. The flag is for the whole tactics thing. I don't love it, and I don't know why. Like, it's a weird choice of, like, just flag T P5 waving, but, like, I feel like when you look at the other logos of, like, kind of how intricate design they are, even something like Scramble or whatever, like, those feel like P5, whereas this felt, I don't even know, like, it's kind of weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but, like, how do you guys feel about the logo? Just because it doesn't look anything like anything we've seen before from P5 or, like, even other spin-offs.
I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of hard to read.
Yes.
Like, it's not like a central logo. Like, for one, like, none of the words are straight. I feel like if they tilted the flag to be more straight, I think it would be more legible, and it would be better at that point, but I don't know, it's, like, skewed upward. It's kind of hard to read.
Mm-hmm. Marcus, what about you?
The logo does look fine, though I prefer they would just call it Persona 5 Tactics instead of, like, Persona 5 Tactica, which does the title.
I think Tactica's Italian, if I'm not mistaken, because the P3 remake trailer is like Spanish or Italian, so it could just be a different language.
Oh no,
okay.
Tactica is the name.
Oh, that's the name.
That is the name. Yeah.
I don't like that. It's not that big a deal, but it's just kind of weird.
Here, I'm gonna look this up. I don't think this is a word, but I'm gonna see. That is funny.
When I put it in
Tactica, yeah, Google Translate. Tactica is a real word. It is just Italian for tactics, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're just calling it Tactica. To just try and be cheeky, but also,
oh my God, Persona 5 in Italy.
Well, yeah, it was like the whole point of this one is they're in different like parts of the world, so like that like wouldn't be like that's like there might just be like an Italian part that like the game is based around. But yes, unfortunately, I forgot who I was talking to earlier with it, if it was Crossrunner or whatnot, but my brain, as soon as I saw the art style and stuff with it, it was like, man, they were really slacking not calling it Persona Cuties.
They have to do actual marketing, unfortunately, but
well, we'll see how much marketing this gets. I'm still worried this is going to be like a digital.
Nothing probably.
Yeah, I'm still worried that this will be like digital only, sent to die on the fires. Although I felt that they were doing the same thing with Etrian Odyssey, and that at least in Japan sold almost 40,000. So
because that one has a physical in Japan, though. Is the
thing. Also Etrian Odyssey is just more popular over there. Like yeah. I don't even know if Etrian has charted on the Western charts at all.
Well, I don't really think Atlus has tried to make it trend, is the thing. They did next to no marketing. They didn't really do much on their YouTube channel, minus like a couple uploads of the soundtrack, which that does not help.
Mm-mm. But don't worry though, they'll mail you stickers. That'll save the game. They'll mail you a sticker sheet.
Don't you have to pay for shipping?
Listen, man, they're mailing you stickers. You can dox Atlus after you get your free stickers. That's all that matters.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Let's not mention how. How Soul Hackers 2, they were promoting it and had their banner and everything, but then as soon as they announced Persona 3 Portable and 4 Golden were coming to,
they immediately took it down.
they just immediately switched to that.
It's a good question.
Wasn't it like a week or two?
Let's put our money on this. How long will P5 Tactica be on the Atlus social media banners before it's replaced with something else? I give it at least until
I give it a month.
September. Well, my guess is like they're at least going to keep it up for the summer because I don't think they're going to announce anything until. I'd be genuinely shocked if we got a game announcement at AX, but like I could at least see we have something something Atlus related. 11 minutes, good bet. But like I'd be genuinely shocked if like we see something that surpasses it, just because that is probably their next game that comes out. I'd be shocked if there's anything else Atlus related that comes out. Although, damn, actually, I just realized, by that same logic, extra big fucking Rip to Etrian Odyssey collection getting any advertising, because, now after this week, they're not going to have fucking anything.
I'm just so disappointed with Etrian Odyssey, because, like, did you even get a review code for it?
Oh, I mean, I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask for a review code until 3 days after launch, and then the person I ended up asking, I forgot, like, was on vacation that week, and it was like...
Neat.
It's like I'm not in a hurry to cover it. There's not a like seriously, like I'm gonna look right now. I would be curious if it even has more than 20 reviews on Metacritic.
Oh my god, I'm gonna check. Hold up.
Here, I got it pulled up right now. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection, released 8 days ago, has 17 reviews. It's a 76 right now. User score, there's only 5. Hold on. There's generally 5. Let's see how many total user scores there are.
There's not even enough scores on PC to give it an actual rating.
Yeah, it is.
There's only 2. Like, oh my god. This wouldn't be a problem if they actually sent out review codes.
Honestly, that's not even really the issue with it. Like, I think they could have sent out codes 3 months ago. It's just the problem is this. Like, great example, friend of the show, Gnarly, one of my favorite things he always does is he's always hungry for a review code. I don't know why, but he's always hungry for a review code. And with this one, I especially told him, what are you in a hurry for? What are you going to do with that code? Let's be honest. Who was sitting here being like, God damn, I got to get me some Etrian God fucking damn Odyssey. And it was like, no, it was like, yeah, it's like you want to play it because it's the next Atlus game, but it's like, it's still going to be there. It's digital only. It's probably going to go on sale sooner.
I don't want to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also true. A great point about Etrian Odyssey, I keep fucking forgetting. Awful fucking price point. $80 is fucking egregious for that collection. That's one of the fucking worst pricing mistakes they've ever done as a company.
And it's funny because... Oh, no, you're good. No, you go.
I mean, like $80 for like the full game, and then like $40 for each game alone.
God forbid you want to buy like one and then get the others later. You pay more.
It's just only extra stupid because they literally started this year by being like, hey, why are you only selling Persona 4 and 3 for $20? They're like, we wanted to offer a great value to our fans. And it's like you can't look at fucking Persona 4 Golden and then be like, oh, but Etrian Odyssey should be $40 because less people are going to buy it. Like, that's the real reason. But that still just fucks over Etrian Odyssey fans. Like, there's no one who's going to want to jump... There's no one who's going to jump into Etrian Odyssey at a fucking asking price of $80 when there are a million other games coming out that are like, yeah, nothing's like Etrian Odyssey right now, but guess what? The collection's not going anywhere. There's no new additional content that's worthwhile. There's just a couple of fucking PNGs of cool art that's just DLC.
Yeah, and it's funny. The PC version, has de novo, right? But they forgot to put de novo on the launch version. They only put it on like hours later. So now it's up for grabs for pirates. It's like,
well, I mean, to be fair, also for Switch. Like, because God forbid a Switch game ever be fucking hard to download.
Yuzu, definitely. But, like, on low-end machines that can't do Switch emulation, you can just pirate it. Like, they're giving you no incentive to pay for it at all.
Yeah. So, again, the whole point of, like, calling out isn't, like, it's not that none of us want to play it. It's not that none of us are, like, oh, no, like, we're not Etrian Odyssey fans or we're not want to, like, check it out. But it's just that funny thing of just being, like, it's like if you, like, a good example is, like, it's like if when you got Tears of the Kingdom and let's just use an example. Persona 5 Tactica came out the next week. I'm gonna be completely honest. If I wasn't covering this as someone for the show, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking play the one game because it's kind of like that thing of like, this is just bad timing. This is bad timing for a system exclusive.
And they do it constantly.
Yeah.
Like 13 Sentinels died because it came out almost like right before the PS5.
Well,
no one cares.
Yeah, bad timing on Switch, bad timing on PS4, but at least Japan kind of picked up the slack with that one. So I think a lot of
too, so that was different.
A lot of Western mistakes can really be leaned on of like, well, Nocturne was a bad idea in the West, but it sold really well in Japan to make up for it. Same with Etrian Odyssey, same with 13 Sentinels. So that way, like, it stays niche over here, but it just gets frustrating because it's like, you know that it can reach a better and bigger market, but it's just that no one who is making any real difference is being listened to in those meetings. It's just, yeah, we'll fart it out. Who cares?
Yeah, and I it's a really like not enviable situation at all because like if they delayed 13 Sentinels even further, you know, they're gonna piss off Atlus fans. But at the same time, if you want your game to sell, you gotta make some sacrifices here. I don't know, man.
All right, we all gotta get some sleep, but I did want to ask both of you any thoughts, final things we both wanted to say. Whether it be Marcus or Pi, any final P3 shenanigans you want to put out there? Comments, concerns?
It's interesting that it's Unreal, yet it looks like distinctly different from SMT5. I wonder. I don't think it's UE. It's UE4, right? It's not UE5.
Yes, yeah, it's Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, they must have done like a lot of custom lighting work then, because it looks like drastically different in terms of its like shading.
It's the custom Atlus branded and trademarked P3 blue filter. But yeah,
it's like how all Mexican movies are have a green filter.
No, it's the Breaking Bad Mexico filter, but blue.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Chiaki, like for you, where are you at in the where do you think you're going to want to play it, and where do you think Atlus is going to land on the price wise for it?
I'm gonna probably, it's probably not gonna be on Switch, so I'm probably gonna get on my play on the PS5.
So what makes you think it might not be on Switch?
I'm not sure. Probably maybe because they'll try to hardware. But then again, I'm probably gonna, if they don't, then I'm gonna be laughing at that Goomba guy starts making posts saying to put it on Switch.
Oh God, yeah, it's
I think
true.
It's gonna be on Switch.
Now,
if
also,
you can look at SMT5 and it runs okay. I think they can make it work.
It's more of a matter of when than if for sure. But like, I at least hope they learn their lesson from last year and don't randomly wait 3 weeks after the Xbox show to confirm that it's coming to Switch, because that was always the weirdest thing about that.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Was it? I wonder if it was like.
Remember, they had
Microsoft
a weird
third
party. No, it wasn't a Microsoft thing. It's because they had a third party direct planned, and they didn't know what the Microsoft deal, and so they were like, "Well, we don't want to remove this from our direct." Because that was like kind of a pretty light third-party direct, but they're like, well, we'll just shut up for 3 weeks and hope no one asks us any questions about it.
Speaking, I didn't think about it that way.
Well, they did announce that it was going to come to PlayStation after the Xbox thing, so not sure why they had to wait like a long time just to.
Well, because remember, PlayStation had no state of play, had no showcases, had nothing for months during 2022.
Yeah, that was strange. That was really strange.
Oh, almost as strange as selling a Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition with a steelbook and a digital copy of the game. Am I right?
Same with God of War.
Oh my God. God forbid. But, Chiaki, I'm going to let you go first. Any final thoughts, things you want to put out there, or places people can find you online before we get out of here?
Play Idle Showdown, and anyone who's at Atlus watching, if you want someone to help sponsor your game, I know a person, a YouTuber who really wanted to play your game. Just follow them. Their name is Mori Calliope.
Oh God!
I was ready for you just to say my name and make me very happy, but you know what?
I was
Sure,
gonna do that too.
We'll give it to small up and comer. I think they might almost have enough money to afford the Etrian Odyssey collection, so I think that'll be a good idea for them. But oh my God, that is too funny. Let me see here with it. Pi, what about you? Where can people find you, harass you, and all in all, just have a good time with you?
People can harass me on YouTube. My name is Pi Studios. Sega Atlus. Please read my emails. I beg of you. No, but for real though. YouTube, Twitter, just Pi Studios 808, I think. And I also have Discord if you want to actually harass me.
Damn.
I had some people raid my server and say my dog was ugly. They got banned immediately.
Whoa, man. Clearly.
Oh yeah, no. But we don't talk about dog harassment on my server.
Well, that's good. We appreciate all dogs on here, so that's good. All right, everybody. We are wrapping up, so I'm going to dip out of the Discord and pull up my lovely little goodbye list. But you guys, thank you for waiting, especially Chiaki and Pi. I know you guys are waiting forever, but thank you for sitting through and suffering with the Town Hall. I'm going to dip out now.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem, man.
Right, I'm going to see you later. Goodbye.
And then we've oofed it. All right. And YouTube chat, thank you for sticking with us for so long. I want to say, boy, how the fuck did I do this for so long? And then I realized that, like, I'm stupid and used to do this a lot. Honestly, I've just really missed talking to you guys. I'm glad we have had news. Ironically, as much as I miss doing the show as consistently as I was before, it really sure does fucking help when there's news, doesn't it? As opposed to just being like, oh man, we gotta make some shit happen. So thank you guys so much. This was a horrendously long episode. But the Town Hall, I miss doing it with you guys. This seemed like a great opportunity. Don't forget, though, if you do enjoy the podcast, please consider subscribing on YouTube. That helps a ton. Check it out on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Everything helps. Reviews, comments, liking, sharing, all that really, really does make a difference. So I do appreciate everybody helping out. If you do want to help out the most, though, you can always go to patreon.com/SMTN. That's patreon.com/SMTN. And go there. You can support the show at the $1 and up level, and if you do that, you get to be a SMTN fan and then get the show early, exclusive giveaways. I have a giveaway that should be going live. You know, honestly, we'll probably do it Friday because this weekend will be really stupid. So, sometime Friday night or so, unless it ends up just getting pushed till Monday, just because of the podcast I was not planning on doing tonight. But expect a double giveaway soon, and but yeah, donating really, really helps, especially with stuff like our upcoming AX trip and things like that. But we have got, I'm just pulling up the old patron list right now. Perfect. All right. So, shout out, though, to all of our patrons, whether they be at the $1 and up level or the $5 executive producer tier, which gets them an extra special shout out, just like Jigingus, Budweiser Tall Cans, Carlos Hernandez, Contraband, Cross Renren, K-Horse, Mirth Mouser. By the way, Mirth, I'm so sorry I couldn't get you in. It went really long. I tried to get to everybody shortly. I was very bad. I felt bad that you had to leave. But so, Mirth, if you hear this, thank you for waiting. Patrick Dissart, Philip Meyer, Solaire, Winnie, Cameron Sharp, all of you at the $5 level or below, thank you all so much. Every little bit really does help, and I cannot thank you guys enough. It really, really makes a difference, and I love talking to each and every one of you guys so much. So, thank you guys for being so supportive. Check out the show. We will be back next week with probably some like summary roundup after we've got more. Don't forget just to randomly post in the chat Jigingus, just to really confuse all the normies out there. But last but not least, everyone who watched live, we had a ton of people watching, almost like 50 people the entire time. And even now, we're like rounding out with like 30. But I want to give a big thanks to everyone who wasn't able to pop in but was in the live chat. Of course, we had Deep Weeb, Will the Greatest, Cross Rin, DHI Hollow. Randomly had a insect trying to bite me as I'm saying my goodbye, so that was fun. I'll investigate my malaria tomorrow, I guess. Good thing I'm moving. Carlos Hernandez, thank you for watching, typing, and more. Match Navi. More people I'm probably forgetting. There's just a lot of stuff on here. Miguel, thank you very much. Scrolling up high. Kane, of course. Chris, Socially Awkward. Alex, Demi Crow. That was another one I missed. I'm sorry I missed you, Demi Crow. Everybody, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your night. Have a chill night. And I will see you all later. Goodbye, everybody. Peace.